Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another stream with Swaggle Haas. Got my coffee. Thought maybe we should fire up the camera. Got some D23 announcements. It's a lazy Saturday over here at the Swaggle Haas house. So I figured, hey, why not, see what news is coming in, see what reactions are going. We can all FOMO together and go nuts over spec books, see what's moving in the market, and drink some coffee together. So figured I would turn on the camera and do some reactions. I mean, obviously we can't watch the stream because they're not actually broadcasting it in any way. So we're just going to kind of piecemeal stuff together, go to Twitter, look at some news stuff. And then, we can talk about some books that might move or whatever's going on, or we can not talk about any of this stuff. We can just kind of hang out for a little while together. So, I figured that might be kind of fun on this Saturday morning. Let me say what's up to some people here in the chat. We got Gage here. Hey, man, great to be here. Hey, Gage, what's going on? Circumstances. Always good to have you, man. Always good to see you. Let's see what else here. We got Jerry. What up, Swags? Is the Marvel panel live streaming? Yeah, Jerry. So it's not live streaming. We won't be able to watch it. But the plan is, what they always do is they always post these like Twitter things like instantly after, or if we get the trailer or whatever. And I have no idea if I'm allowed to broadcast reacting to the trailer with you guys, but I'm just going to do it. Like, who cares? Worst case scenario is they demonetize this live stream, which, I don't really mind. I think it's more fun for us to talk about. Frank, let's go. Frank, what's going on, man? Got a bunch of my spec books ready. Yeah. It's funny because I've been doing these videos where I'm like, oh, here's the potential stuff that's going to happen in the market. And it's funny because it's not even like me making videos in terms of like, hey guys, like you may want to pick up these books before they get hot. It's more like, hey guys, these books are going to get hot. And if you, have them and you want to cash in, you probably should get that eBay listing ready. You know what I mean? Avengers 8 movement. I don't know about Avengers 8. Like this is something that I think is really interesting because we've been seeing all the jumps and stuff with everything. And I feel like that book has already had a move up off of San Diego Comic-Con. Like everything has been going down, and then it got like the San Diego Comic-Con bump, and now it's kind of like leveled. And I think we're going to get that Ant-Man 3 trailer. We're probably going to see him. People might get excited, but I can't imagine that it's going to spike in price, at least not yet. I have a feeling like, you might see some sales. The book might become more liquid all of a sudden. But I can't imagine it's going to set new record highs. But you never really know. I mean, all it takes is one sale to make a new record high. Yeah, we need the Ant-Man trailer. What's going on, Jeff? RFP Marvelous Collection. What's going on? Let's see here. Ironheart spec books you are specking on. I'm not really specking on too much on Ironheart. I mean, like I only ever spec on books that I actually won't mind like holding the bag. For instance, like, and Ironheart has never been like my character. So I feel like, I'm not going to take the gamble where it's like, if I buy it and the book goes down in value, as long as I like the character, I like the book, I don't feel so bad. So I rarely, spec on characters that I don't necessarily like. But if I found it in the wild, if I was like digging through a bin, I found it for like $10, like I would 100% have picked it up. Any news yet, Frank? What's going on, Frank? We will take a look together. I think the panel just started, so it's going to kind of drip into our feeds here, and we'll cover it. And if you guys find news, like please let me know so that we can kind of all discuss it together. Sorry, my hair is all crazy right now. Did a workout this morning. Jumped out of the shower. Today I learned Swaggle House directed the great. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I did make that. How'd you find out about that? I did all of their music videos. What's going on, Houdat? Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by. Lawmaking, living dangerously. Yes, indeed. We're not going to FOMO buy anything today, though. A few days ago, I made a large purchase of buying a Stan Lee signed Amazing Spider-Man 252. Awesome, dude. That's a huge book. I mean, I think that book's only going to continue to go up, at least in terms of it, in the near to mid future. I mean, I think we're going to get the Tom Holland, black suit Spider-Man, trilogy of films at some point, and that's going to be the go-to book. Hopefully, I can throw up my Nova books today. I mean, I would just put them up right now. Put them up right now. Put them at a price that you want to get for it, and then I'm sure we're gonna get some kind of Nova acknowledgement today. So you might as well just put it at a price that is good for you, and then see if anyone ends up picking it up. Doctor Strange 169 or Iron Man 1. What do you guys think, chat? I think Iron Man 1 will always be the more desired book, the more desired key, and probably a little bit safer, if you can say that books can never be safe, because I just think that it's always been a cover that people have loved and wanted to collect and stuff. But Doctor Strange 169 is one of the best Doctor Strange, early Silver Age Doctor Strange books you can get, because Strange Tales 110, obviously a great book, but he's not on the cover. So 169 is probably the best early Strange cover you can get. So you can't go wrong with either book. But I would say Iron Man 1 is safer. Morning, Crazy. Let's see what happens. Yeah, let's see what happens indeed. Jay Hood, what's going on, Jay Hood? Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, Disney has been posting stuff too. Yeah, good point. Like I have basically, we got the war room set up here. We're on Twitter. So I got the Marvel Studios page here. I got the D23 page here. I guess this is just a fan thing, so maybe we can pull up the Disney one. Here's Disney Plus right here, so we can look at that. I also got the Star Wars one, but I think Star Wars is later today. And I'm probably not going to stream all the way up through Star Wars. We'll just get to the Marvel stuff. In fact, why don't we just do a quick refresh right now here on Marvel, and we can kind of see if they posted anything. No, not yet. Basically, they kind of, they're doing their She-Hulk announcements, and then they did a lot of video game announcements yesterday. I believe that it was. Let's see. Oh no, Marvel Studios. Yeah, this is the Marvel Studios. You know what we need to do? We need to pull up Marvel Entertainment as well, because Marvel Entertainment is the umbrella company for Marvel. So, or the umbrella for all things Marvel. So yeah, right here, they did this announcement yesterday. They got this video game coming in, and I don't know, it's a new game. So this is something that they announced yesterday. We got another Midnight Suns kind of series of animes that they're doing for the Midnight Suns video game, which is pretty cool, I guess. You got to wonder if this Midnight Suns video game, everyone was specking on the Midnight Suns book, but the maybe all the trademarks were in relation to this video game. So I'm sure that they would still want to do, movies or shows related to like the Midnight Suns, but we'll see what happens with that, because all that FOMO, all that spec could just be coming off of the video game hype or the video game stuff. Good Saturday morning. Happy D23. Yeah, Trevor's good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Are you going to be at New York Comic-Con? I am hoping to be there. Yes. I don't know if I'm for sure going to be there. TBD still, but I'm hoping that I can make the trip. So definitely, I'll put it right now at like 65 to 80% chance. Swaggle has just confirmed for Reed Richards. I'm ready, man. I'm ready. No, I think I would be a terrible. I think you don't want to see my acting chops. Okay, I could hang on like a show, like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, maybe, but you don't want to see me leading a Marvel movie. Good afternoon, Swag. What's going on, dude? I heard a rumor that Silver Surfer might be in the Fantastic Four movie. Yeah, that's the rumor. There's definitely a key collector notification on that one. It'll be interesting. I could see that happening. I've heard some other rumors too. Here I got my ear to the ground here in Los Angeles. Got some spies, working for the Marvel and Warner Brothers spaces. So I do think that Silver Surfer is coming sooner rather than later. I'm new to the hobby. Love your videos. I'm LA based. What are some of your favorite comics in LA? Do you mean LCSs? I would say there is. What are some of the best LCSs? There's one called the Comic Cellar in Alhambra. I think has probably the best stuff. A little bit further out, there's Comic Bug in on the west side, which is pretty good. They're kind of hit and miss, but pretty good. And then if you ever get up to the valley, there's a House of Secrets in Burbank, which is also pretty good. Best comic book YouTuber. I don't know about that, Jacob, but I appreciate that. Yeah, California Iron Man 1 for sure. Let me just see if I can catch up with the chats here, or see what. Are you submitting any books to CGC for Todd sign my ASM 300 a newsstand myself? I'm not going to send any books, but I'm just not a big signed book person. But I think that that's cool. I mean, I would love a Todd McFarlane signed stuff. I feel like signed books, Stanley Sig for sure, totally worth it. And then maybe if you got a Kirby signature, that's also really, really, up there and desirable. And then all the other signatures I think are kind of next tier, right? But I would say that Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, some of the other big creators, Roy Thomas and things like that, Marv Wolfman, those people are on the same tier. Todd's signature is awesome. Let's see here. I wish Marvel and Disney would live stream. Yeah, it would be cool if they did. Let's do a little refresh, see what happens. Marvel here, entertainment. Nothing yet. We'll just do our due diligence here. Refresh on the D23 fan page here. See if anything was posted. It's time for the studio showcase, day 2, Marvel. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so they're probably just, Kevin Feige's probably on stage right now doing his, pony dog and pony show dance, or he's just, recapping what a amazing year it's been for Disney Phase 4. Andor looks like it's going to be awesome. Yeah, I think it does look like it's going to be pretty awesome. I definitely think Andor, of all the Star Wars stuff, it feels like Rogue One actually was generally the most liked. So if they kind of go for that vibe with Andor, which is more I don't even know what you would call it, very gritty street level feel for Star Wars, spies and smugglers and things like that. I think that's a very, very cool world for Star Wars to be in. Hey, so what's your favorite current comic series? What's been pretty good? All the Tinian stuff has been pretty good. I always love reading his writing. So I've been reading The Closet, which was pretty enjoyable so far. So I don't know. The Closet, that's the first one that comes to mind for me. They're talking about Andor right now. Are they talking about Andor right now? Let's see. Talking about Andor right now. I hope they're not doing Star Wars now. I'd rather have Marvel announcements to discuss with you guys. Oh, so maybe they're doing Star Wars right now. We'll see. The D23 Studio Showcase starts now. Are you ready? Okay. All for the Rebellion. Brand new trailer for Andor. Oh, okay. Here's the Andor trailer. I don't know if I'm allowed to play this with the sound, but yeah, this is it's definitely a cool thing, the whole smuggler spy Star Wars fantasy, I think is definitely a very cool style. But I will definitely watch this trailer. I'm definitely looking forward to some Marvel trailers. I think if we can get some, I think Ant-Man 3 trailer, coming out, Secret Invasion trailer, I could see that happening for sure. Go on discussing film live updates. Yeah, I think that, that's what I'm definitely trying to do. Do you think Marvel's fueling fake casting rumors? I don't think they're, I think that they enjoy fake casting rumors. I think it's definitely good for them to have all this buzz in the pop culture news sphere to have casting. What I think is interesting is, imagine someone like John Krasinski who got cast as Reed Richards due to fan casting. If I was an agent in Hollywood, or if I was a PR person and I knew that you could have grassroots campaigns that filter up to get people cast, that would change the game to me. I feel like, you could totally go on these like marketing PR pushes to get your clients, Inception to be seeded into Kevin Feige's brain and to Sarah Flynn's brain for casting. So, you can go on a campaign. Like I think actors do. I mean, even Ryan Gosling is like, oh, I would love to play Ghost Rider, wink, wink. He just kind of says this stuff. And it definitely feels like, they're doing it on purpose. Thoughts on Luke Cage? Oh, Luke Cage, man. Did you see that? Did you see that sale for the Hero for Hire #1? They went at Heritage yesterday, and 9.8 sold for 6 figures. That's a monster sale for that book. That one is absolutely crazy to get up there. I mean, granted, there's only, I think, 5 or 6 9.8s, but very impressive. I mean, there's only a handful of bronze books that have gotten up to the 6-figure range, and now Here for Hire 1, first appearance of Luke Cage, is one of them. I think it's a great book. I think it's very still affordable for a lot of people. It's very attainable, and I think Luke Cage is definitely a character that has a lot of potential. Let's see. Just kind of scrolling through. Want to make sure that shifting to Willow now. Oh, the Willow movie. What do you guys think about that Willow trailer? The first one that came. I don't know about that one. I mean, I thought it was cool. I loved Willow growing up, but I don't know. We'll see. Like, can they recapture the magic that is Willow? We'll see. I kind of feel like, I like the Val Kilmer. I need Val Kilmer in my Willow movie here. All for the Rebellion. Okay, yeah. So the Andor one has been posted. We'll see what happens next. Hopefully they get to some Marvel stuff soon. It'll be interesting to see what that is. Swag, what is your FF fan cast? I don't really have a good one. I don't know if I have a good take on that. I was of the opinion that John Krasinski was just okay in Multiverse of Madness. I mean, he didn't have too much to do, but he was, I don't know, he felt kind of flat. But I'm willing to give him a pass because I have to imagine that he did all of his scenes by himself. Like it felt very much like, oh, clearly you were like comped in around everyone else. So you had no one to react off of. You had just to deliver lines in a green space. So it must have been pretty hard for him to conjure up any sort of like chemistry or emotion. But I'd be okay if they decide to go with him for the rest of it, because I think Marvel needs to make sure that we don't go too young. Like we need with our male leads, we need some men. I'm okay having some 40 and 50-year-old dudes be cast in these superhero roles. Like I don't need everyone to be this like, super fresh faced, like Reed Richards. I don't need like Reed Richards to be 25 years old. I'd like him to be, in his 40s or 50s and stuff. I just feel like that gravitas is much needed. I think it's a 2-hour talk, all things including Marvel. Oh, okay. I see, Justin. Justice. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see how it just kind of trickles in. I mean, no real plans for the stream. I just thought we would kind of hang out. I invited some people, so we might have some surprise guests popping in. And we can also talk other things. We can talk comics and things like that. We can talk some market news. I got some other interesting stuff pulled up to discuss. Yeah, they should show Guardians 3 trailer today. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. I mean, I kind of feel like they might hold it because if you just look at the calendar, if you just look at the slate, it's like, okay, obviously we're coming up to Black Panther 2, and then top of the year is going to be Ant-Man 3 and most likely Secret Invasion. So I don't know, like just thinking of other scenarios, like the Guardians movie is the May movie, the May release. So it's like the equivalent of Multiverse of Madness. I don't know if they would release marketing materials for it when we know we're going into Ant-Man 3. Sometimes they don't want to like confuse the audiences with too much information. So I would guess, maybe you would see Guardians of the Galaxy, the 3 trailer, like kind of around the Super Bowl time, because Super Bowl happens in February, and then they probably like want to promote the May movie. So they might just hold on to it for a while. You bet they'll show the Indiana Jones trailer. That would be interesting. I don't know. Like Indiana Jones, do we care? Do we care about Indiana Jones? I mean, I love Indiana Jones. I'm a huge fan, but I don't know. It's like, so some of these franchises is just like, can you really recapture the magic and the spark that exists for them? It's like everyone's talking about Prey, for instance, which I think did a pretty good job. I haven't watched it, but like even when it was coming out, I was like, do people still like Predator? I feel like this franchise has been kind of, run dry at this point. So sort of like, Aliens too. Like I feel like some of these franchises just don't have the same kind of magic anymore. IG12 says Luke Cage greater than Ghost Rider. Luke Cage greater than Ghost Rider? I mean, both are great characters. I don't know about Luke Cage being greater than Ghost Rider. They're different though. It's apples to oranges. I'm a minority, but I think She-Hulk is very entertaining, in particular how she always breaking the fourth wall. Yeah, that totally makes sense. I mean, if you like She-Hulk, I understand the pros for it, and I understand the criticisms as well. Nova, please. Yes, indeed. I think Nova for sure is kind of a shoo-in to be announced here. All right, let's kind of jump over. Let's jump over to some of this. Let's do some refreshes. See what's going on. Again, thanks for coming by, guys, and hanging out. We're just kind of shooting it right now. No real plan. Thought I'd fire up the camera, drink some more coffee, talk about any kind of fun announcements that are coming. No big deal either way. No pressure here. Okay. Let's see. Let me fix that here. Just kind of looking back through some of the comments. Are there sub-communities of simply comic book collectors? All I do is buy and have no interest in flipping aspect of the hobby. It seems like most collectors are also flippers. Well, I think that there's tons of collectors that are not really interested in selling or flipping or whatever. And for the most part, I think there's a lot of people that aren't into that aspect. For me, personally, and like the kind of the info that I put out in the channel and like how I kind of approach it is I just come from a place of like comic book collecting can be really expensive. Like it definitely adds up quite a bit. And flipping or selling or, in theory, I kind of think of it more as like trading. That can just be like a super, super effective way to help, build your collection in the way that you want it. So anytime I put out the information that's like, spec books and this and that, really it's just to kind of help guide people to, improve and push their collection to where they want to go with it. But there's tons of people that are not really interested in selling. What time is the press conference for Marvel? I think it's basically right now. I mean, it depends on how they kind of are rolling it all out. It feels like maybe they're doing some Star Wars stuff. Apparently they're talking about Willow as well right now. So I think it's just a block. We'll see if I'm still streaming. I mean, like it might last a few hours. So hopefully there's some interesting stuff that we can kind of dive into as we're streaming here. Wish Marvel would do the boys sort of show. Never would happen though. You talking like when you say the boys, are you talking about like the violence level or the shock factor level? Yeah, we're never going to get that range. But what I will say is with Marvel, I mean, I think we're in growing pains right now. But it does feel like what Marvel wants to do is build a catalog, right? Like when you're a company as big as they are, and you're Disney and you're a brand, you have to build a catalog. So you have to have like, the show that hits every single demographic, whether it's like here's our show for the 4-year-olds through the, 7-year-olds. And then here's our show for the high schoolers and the teenagers. And then here's our show for the adults and et cetera, et cetera. So it does feel like it wants to eventually get to the place where, Blade and Moon Knight and Ghost Rider and characters like that are more adult centric, and Ms. Marvel and I don't know, whatever other Young Avengers show, maybe Ironheart is going to be more teen friendly. But Moon Knight was supposed to be like gritty, and I would say that it's a pretty safe level. It's more like a PG-13. Yeah, Disney's never really going to push too much past PG-13. Although Deadpool 3 is supposed to be rated R. So we'll see what happens with that. Desire Comics, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Maybe they announce Keanu Reeves in the MCU, maybe as Mephisto, Ghost Rider, or Silver Surfer. I mean, it seems like Keanu Reeves is going to be something at some point. I mean, I always say when there's smoke, there's fire. You constantly hear him or news about him being rumored, or news of him taking meetings with Kevin Feige. I'm sure they both want to do something, and it's just really going to come down to the right type of part. It's interesting with like characters like him, or actors at his level, and the situations that Kevin Feige's in, because Kevin Feige is like, okay, I want your star power to come to the MCU, but I also want you to be on board for 10 years. So there's this kind of balance where, I don't know if Keanu Reeves wants to do 10 years of Marvel movies. I mean, he might want to, but it's a lot to ask, and it's a big check to cash for them. So it's hard. It's this like careful balance. And then it's like, okay, well, maybe we can do like a Christian Bale one-off with like Gore the God Butcher. But then like, does Keanu Reeves really want to do that? Like not a lot of actors want meaty roles. Like they want something that's going to be pretty epic. So it's a careful push and pull. I don't know. It's hard. Is Ant-Man technically Marvel's first solo superhero? Is Ant-Man technically Marvel's first solo superhero? What do you mean by that, Virtual? Not sure what you mean. No Coast, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Thanks for coming through. Oh, I see what you mean. Because Tales to Astonish 27 is a $61. I'm not sure, because first solo. Oh yeah. I think you're right. Then I think he probably is the first solo superhero, because Fantastic Four is a group, and they're the first ones that came out. And then if we're counting his Tales to Astonish 27 appearance, then 100% he's the first solo superhero. If we have to get to Tales to Astonish 35, I think we might be getting in line to did Incredible Hulk come out before TTA 35? I'm not sure. Or Journey into Mystery. I think it's possible. Zorz, what's going on, man? What I miss, Swag? Nothing yet so far. We got some Andor trailers. We got some Willow announcements. Nothing Marvel yet. Nothing too juicy. Again, let me know, guys, if you end up seeing anything or finding anything or hearing anything. We'll just do some quick refreshes here. See if anything came in. I mean, they did a bunch of video game announcements yesterday. Oh, yeah. So here you go. So right now we have the Andor trailer, new Andor trailer. I don't know how much, what could be moving out of this. I'm not like super versed in the Star Wars spec game, guys. So I don't know. You tell me if there's like a character that showed up in this Andor trailer that has a book that we're going to see on every hot list this week pop up because of that. Like what's the Inquisitor book? I remember when we got the Obi-Wan Kenobi ones. And then I guess we got a new Willow trailer here. I think there was a Willow comic book series that had like a #1 issue that, has moved a little bit on the market. So I think that could be interesting. This is cool. I mean, we'll see how it goes. We're definitely getting a lot of fantasy content all of a sudden. We got Willow. Like it's been a while since we had like kind of that high fantasy vibe. We got Willow. We have Lord of the Rings right now. We got Game of Thrones. And then there's also that Dungeons and Dragons movie that, Chris Pine is in. So interesting to see how Willow will do. I'm going to watch all these, eventually on my own time. We'll see if any of those move the market. I'm sure that there's going to be, if there's books to buy in relation to, what we're seeing with Willow or Andor, 100% they will be moving, because that's just how everything works. Let's see here. Swag, do you think there will be a renewed interest in Vision because of the Wonder Man thingy? I think so. I mean, we're going to have to see Vision, or there's going to have to be an acknowledgement of Vision, or in some way, I think, in order for the Vision books to start redirecting. Where, like, for instance, if Kevin Feige comes out today and he does his thing and he says, "Oh, Wonder Man Wonder Man on Disney Plus set to come out," and blah blah blah, and I'm happy to announce that Paul Bettany will be reprising his role of the Vision. If he says something like that, then that will definitely move a lot in the market, or that will have an effect in the market. And I think Wonder Man could be pretty cool. I mean, again, it all comes down to execution. It all comes down to casting. Heavily comes down to casting, because Wonder Man could be a dope character, in my opinion. But we'll see. Principal Defects in the house. What up? What's going on? Good to see you guys. Thanks for coming through. Let's see. Let me just kind of scroll down, catch up with the chat, see what's going on. Again, thank you guys for hanging out. We're just kind of no plan in it, shooting from the hip, seeing what's out there, seeing what might be moving in the market, talking about things that could be FOMOing right now as we speak. We'll see what the Marvel news is going to be. I should pull up this Reddit thread, because there's another leaker thing who got everything right yesterday. And so maybe we can get previews. If it takes too long to get to the news, we can talk about it here together. Why is Fantastic Four 48 trending down? We know they're coming. Well, I think a lot of books are trending down because overall, a lot of books got overinflated, right? Like, everyone was going so crazy on the spec, in the height of 2021, that keeping the floor levels just was not going to be sustainable. So things are trending down. I think that particular book, the problem specifically with FF48 is that there was a warehouse find of it back in the day. And that particular key has a lot higher of a census than most of the other keys in that era. So I think, like, even in comparison to like FF49, which is the full Galactus one, and FF52, First Black Panther, so like all those books came out around the same time, I think FF48 actually has twice the amount of copies on the census. So that book, great book, amazing character, Silver Surfer 100% is coming, but that's going to be one of the issues for that one, to always like command a certain value, is that it has to be twice as popular because the census is twice as high, which, Silver Surfer could be twice as popular as Black Panther or First Full Galactus. I don't know. It's going to be hard though. I think Silver Surfer is definitely more popular than Black Panther, but like twice as popular, like twice the level, it's going to be tough. Yeah, Vinny, thank you for saying, yeah. FF48 had a warehouse find. So yeah, there was a flooding of the market. I still think it's extremely tough to get in the like highest grades. Like, the census is probably pretty low up there, but the census is still much higher than FF49, which has an all black cover, which is way, way harder to get in high grade. What do you think of the chance of Ghost Rider announcement are? If you think they would do Johnny Blaze, if you think they would do Johnny Blaze again, or Dan Ketch, I think that the Ghost Rider announcement is slim today. I think that Ghost Rider is 100% on the table. I don't know. I feel like they would just go with Johnny Blaze. That's what I think. And if they're, maybe we could get Dan Ketch if it makes sense in the story. Maybe we would get all the Ghost Riders. Maybe we would get the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider as well. But I kind of just feel like they'll just do all of it. All of them. World War Hulk announced. What do you mean World War Hulk announced? Let me see this. Did we actually get that? Is this true? Marvel Studios? Did I get jebaited? Or are you hoping for the World War Hulk announcement? Let me see. I'm refreshing. Okay, I'm refreshing. I don't see World War Hulk announcement yet. Let me know if you guys actually saw it, or it actually is a real thing. Keanu will be a villain and be in and out like Bale. Yeah, I think you're right, Azures. I think that that's probably the trajectory for someone like Keanu Reeves, because it's just I don't think that they can afford to keep him around that long. All right, let's get some of this let's pull up this thread right here, because I think this is interesting. We can talk about this for a little bit, just to get the chat going. We can have this little discussion. All right, so here on the Marvel Studios spoilers Reddit, this is something that you can take a look at, and if you guys are into this stuff. But this guy, apparently, this Reddit scooper, how we got all the scoopers. Apparently, he got all the animations stuff correct yesterday, right? So talking about all the Pixar stuff and everything that came out yesterday. And this is what this scooper put. So this is his predictions of what's coming today. And he got it, all right yesterday. So, probably he's maybe going to be somewhat accurate. But here's what he's going to say. Deadpool 3 will be announced at D23, but it won't be titled Deadpool 3. Okay. So it's going to have its own title. Maybe it'll be a crossover movie. Blade full cast will be announced at D23. That's pretty exciting that Blade full cast will be announced. Okay. I feel like, do you guys think Blade full cast is going to be, I have to imagine that Black Knight is going to be in Blade, right? We're going to get Jon Snow being announced to be in Blade, of course. Like that seems like the obvious next step for him. Who else is going to be in Blade? Are we going to get Werewolf by Night? We're going to get the Werewolf by Night announcement. So I got to imagine Werewolf by Night's going to be in Blade as well. Is he going to have like a little Avengers team himself? Is it going to be the Midnight Suns? We'll definitely see. Quantum Mania trailer will be shown at D23. That one makes a lot of sense. I think that one makes a lot of sense. Werewolf by Night announcement will officially happen. I feel like it's got to happen unless they're shelving that project, because, man, I mean, that thing comes out next month. So they better be announcing it soon. I mean, if not actually showing the trailer. Secret Invasion trailer will at D23. Okay, that one makes sense, right? Secret Invasion trailer. Brie Larson in person will be at Marvel panel to talk about the Marvels. Okay, sure, that makes sense. Armor Wars will be mentioned. It's not canceled, just has turbulent production. Okay. And then new Black Panther poster will be revealed. And then additionally, Julia Dreyfus returning in the Thunderbolts, but more projects as well. I think that makes sense. She's clearly going to be the Nick Fury of the Thunderbolts. Marvel wants Quicksilver to return yet again. That one is interesting. Do they want the Aaron Tyler Johnson version of Quicksilver, or are they going to have what's his face? Quicksilver from Fox franchise, Quicksilver return from WandaVision. And then John C. Reilly and Glenn Close are going to return in Nova, are going to be in Nova. Okay. So interesting stuff there. Interesting stuff. I see you guys kind of chatting. Let me see here. World War Hulk announced. Scarlet Witch show announced. Is that true? I feel like I'm not doing a good job reporting to you guys here. I feel like I need to be reporting. Let me see. Refresh. D23, blah, de, blah. Okay, we have a Tales of the Jedi. Okay, we got a little animation. All 6 original shorts. All right. Short films, blah, de, blah. You guys let me know. Is that true? Scarlet Witch show announced? I don't know about that one. Deadpool maximum effort announced, or maybe not. Okay, so will they? I just read the thing about it. Let me catch up to the chat here. What do you guys think about? What do you guys think about all this stuff? All these rumors, these Reddit rumors here. Apparently this guy got it right all yesterday. And Deadpool maximum effort. That was I talked about in the last video. And I guess it would make sense to have Deadpool 3 be some other kind of title or whatever. J Hood here. Yeah. Keep an eye on my avatar and I'll feed you the current update. All right. I appreciate that, J Hood. Yeah. Give me the real stuff. I mean, I'm sure you guys are also just spitting out, spitting out your thoughts on what could be happening. Yeah. The Marvel panel doesn't seem to be happening yet. Yeah. They're talking about Star Wars. Okay. I got you. Robbie Reyes in the future. I mean, do you think that we're going to get that? Like, part of me is like, what do you think, guys? Do you think that normal audiences just care about Ghost Rider? Do you think that they even know that Ghost Rider's name is Johnny Blaze? I'm sure like the normal casual Marvel fan has heard of Ghost Rider, or at least seen the image of Ghost Rider. And I don't think they really care if it's Dan Ketch or Robbie Reyes or Johnny Blaze. I think only comic book collectors actually care about that stuff. So to that point, I feel like they're just going to do whatever cast they want to do. And maybe we'll get all of them. I don't know. Get the whiteboard out so I go through the stats. Cole, what's going on, man? Yeah, I the whiteboard videos, I think are my favorites to do. I have a lot of fun with them. But they require a lot of thought. And I think I probably lose people because I'm trying to give real thoughts. I'm genuinely giving real thoughts, but I'm also being extremely facetious. I'm trying to like conjure my inner Charlie Day as I do it and just do like Pepe Sylvia because I think it's funny. I just think it's funny. So I think sometimes they get a little too crazy for people. Do you think Armor Wars will be announced? Yeah, Michael, I do think Armor Wars will be announced. This guy says Armor Wars will be mentioned, but not necessarily announced. Probably won't be paraded out. I don't think Armor Wars is going to be a 2023 thing, right? I made that one video where I was talking about like predicting phase 5 and phase 6 as a slate and just looking at it from like a logical calendar standpoint. I mean, unless Marvel decides to ramp up how much content they're already doing, which seems like they're already doing a lot. They're on this kind of releasing 8 or 9 projects a year, and 2023 is already full. Like when you look at the calendar and what's been officially announced, it's already full. So Armor Wars couldn't possibly be until 2024. And, to that point, it's like, are they going to announce here in 2022 projects that are coming in 2024 when next year they're going to have to do the same thing, right? There's obviously going to be a San Diego Comic-Con next year. There's going to be a D23 next year, or I guess it would be called D24 next year. So why would you you need to announce something. So you got to save some stuff to talk about. So I think that they're going to mention it just to kind of PR stuff. Because obviously there's so many murmurs of people being like, "Oh, is this thing canceled?" So they'll just say that it's still in the works, but we're not going to. I don't think we're going to get any juicy details. Apparently, Marvel's the last show today. All right, well, that's unfortunate. I thought they were going to be at 10 a.m. On the dot, come out swinging, but I realized that makes sense that they wouldn't be because, I think at this point Marvel is the big ticket item for Disney. Even more so than Star Wars. Isn't that crazy? Do you guys agree with that? Do you guys feel like Marvel is a bigger brand than Star Wars is right now? I think that it is. I think that the youth is way more invested in Marvel than Star Wars, for sure. I still feel ASM 238 Hobgoblin is very undervalued. As you said in one of your latest videos, he's the only major villain not to have screen time. His 9.8 is about 3,500 or so. Yeah, I think ASM 238, first Hobgoblin, makes the most sense as like next in line villain to come, just because he hasn't been done yet. So totally makes a lot of sense. And especially since Spider-Man 3, since they brought back all the villains, like, you could have made the argument that it's like, oh, it's been so long since we've seen Green Goblin. I think, now we can bring him back. But it's like, since we got all of them back recently, it feels like they'd want to do something new. So Hobgoblin makes a lot of sense. 9.8, 3,500. I mean, let's think about that. Is the book undervalued at $3,500 in a 9.8 grade? It's a 1983 book. So we have to think about, okay, 1983, what kind of census is that? What other characters came out around that time that are similar in tier level, that are similar, in scale? My mind goes to, 1980 book. We have Savage She-Hulk #1. We got 1980 first appearance of Rogue, Avengers Annual 10. First appearance of villains in that time. I'm not too sure. I mean, we can go forward to 1988, first appearance of Venom, and that becomes like a, what I don't know what it is now, but it's a $5,000 book. So is Hobgoblin kind of right in line where it wants to be at 3,500? Is it inflated? Is it undervalued? Is it overvalued? I'd have to really dig into it. That's one of the things I truly try to do a lot, is really think about the presumed census and then talk about tier of character and popularity and compare them to other characters of that ilk and really like focus on the comps, because that's really the only way you can truly determine if a book is overvalued or undervalued or whatever. All that being said, though, there's nothing to say that the market won't completely lose their minds for Hobgoblin if he's announced to be the next villain. I mean, we will 100% see that book shoot up to $5,000. So at that point, you could say that it's undervalued if you buy it now and then you get an announcement and then you cash in at $5,000. But if you're talking about, I'm going to hold this book and over the next, 5 years, is it going to maintain that ceiling or that floor? It may not, because is it currently inflated now due to speculation? I don't know. It's interesting. I think Hobgoblin is a bit overvalued. Okay. I think it's overvalued. Hobgoblin's overvalued in my opinion. Okay. Well, a lot of people are thinking that it's overvalued. Hobgoblin's super inflated. Okay. Mad overvalued. All right. Well, you guys are agreeing with me here, at least, or not agreeing with me, because I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We'd have to really kind of dig into the numbers and figure out, if it is or it isn't overvalued. Your humor comes across. Okay, good. I'm glad my humor comes across. Sometimes some people say that in real life, like amongst my friends, like my poker face is too good, like with my humor, to the point where it's almost like maybe I'm not being sarcastic enough. So some people think that it's confusing, that I'm actually being too earnest. So I'm glad that you at least get it. So I know Bob Layton's hyping Armor Wars. He's still talking positive about it. Yeah, I think Armor Wars is for sure going to be a thing. I think it's going to be awesome too. It's just a question of like, yeah, it kind of like what you hear. It's, D23 is every other year. D23 is every 2 years. So it just sort of is one of those things where it's like, they got to do this every year. So they got to save stuff to announce for the next show. So the question is, will they do it? Star Wars Skeleton Crew announced on Mandalorian now. Is Skeleton Crew, is that the name of the show? Skeleton Crew, or Skeleton Crew kind of like is that like a spec, team or character? I know we have this Tales of the Jedi, the short story thing. So is Skeleton Crew kind of a, the next kind of spec book that's going to blow up? Big question: will they make another season of Cobra Kai? I haven't been watching Cobra Kai. I'm sleeping on that one, but I gotta imagine that they are, right. I mean, it seems like it's extremely popular. Everyone said Comic-Con would be a letdown, but turn out a lot of announcements. I think this is the one that will be underwhelming. Well, we'll see, Nunya. We'll see. I mean, feels like the big news that's going to come out of this one is going to be casting. At San Diego Comic-Con, we didn't get any, this actor is playing this. At least I don't recall us getting that. Maybe we got a little bit, right? We got like the confirmation of the actor who's playing High Evolutionary and stuff like that. But this feels like the Fantastic Four casting. And if that leaker is true in him saying we're going to get the cast of Blade, that'll be the big news stories for sure. Yeah, Star Wars brand impacted by recent trilogy. Yeah, I think you're right, Will. I mean, I don't think. I mean, say what you will. If you like the sequel trilogy or you didn't, I think it's accurate to say that it was polarizing, and I think that overall hurt the brand of Star Wars. Oh, got it. Thank you, Ken. I didn't realize that. Definitely older fans are probably Star Wars fans. Yeah, they grew up with the original. 100% Marvel ahead of Star Wars. Yeah. The last trilogy killed their momentum. And that's the other thing too, I think is interesting about Star Wars right now, because like Star Wars, like there's not even plans, at least public plans, that there's going to be another movie or series of movies. I mean, there's murmurs of Taika Waititi doing a movie. There's murmurs of Kevin Feige producing one. There's murmurs of Rian Johnson's trilogy, but I doubt that those things are clear greenlit things that are happening. I bet too, after Thor: Love and Thunder, after Thor: Love and Thunder performed, I bet that Taika Waititi's, you get anything you want ticket is it has been recalled for sure, especially from Disney. There's no way. Keep Taika away from Star Wars. Yeah, I think that a lot of people are feeling that for sure, because Thor: Love and Thunder feels like it went a little too far off the rails for sure. So it's going to be tricky. Carl, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. 24/7 Comics in the building. I want to get it in on the Disney TCG. Dude, that's what we need. 24/7 TCG. 24/7 games. That would be awesome. That would be awesome for sure. Ronald, what about Dracula in Blade? Dracula in Blade. I mean, that seems to be, the big discussion, right? It only makes sense to have Tomb of Dracula, #1, first appearance of Dracula. It only makes sense to have Dracula in Blade, right? I mean, the question is that what they're going to build to? Is Blade, like, where is Blade going? This is the thing with Marvel. Like, where is all this going? What is Blade recruiting Dane Whitman for? Are they going to go fight Dracula? Does Dracula factor into Kang the Conqueror at all? Does he even matter to Kang the Conqueror? I don't know, but I feel like Dracula seems like the obvious choice for Blade. And the rumor in the video the rumor in the last thing was that if Denzel Washington is cast, maybe he'll be Dracula. I could maybe see that. I mean, that seems a little bit like wishful thinking, but if you're an actor on the level of Denzel Washington, you're thinking it'd be cool to do like 1 or 2 Marvel things. I'd be into that. And then you get to step into a role like Dracula. You're going to be in Blade. You could see that being enticing for like an actor like that. All this Hobgoblin talk in the chat needs a video. Well, but what kind of video should I do for? So I've thought about doing videos where I do topics like top 5 overvalued books, but I don't want to do like negative slanted videos, because inevitably there's going to be people that are really upset if I say that a book is overvalued, or if I say like, if Hobgoblin is your character, that's your guy, and I come in and make a video and I say, yeah, this book is super overinflated, that would feel bad. So I don't want to like do that kind of thing, but it is interesting. I mean, I do try to talk about the, comparison stuff a lot. I'm scared of how a Disney Blade movie is going to look. I just feel like they'll botch it. No way it'll have anything close to the feel of Snipes' movie, and tone is important in my opinion. Yeah, tone is massively important. It'll be interesting. I mean, we're definitely not going to get a rated R Blade. And even if we do get a rated R Blade, like, they may come out and say like, oh, this movie's going to be rated R, and that'll get everyone crazy. But like, I still think that there's a difference between Disney rated R and whatever studio Blade was done through. Sony, something like that. Because Disney rated R is still going to be curbed a little bit. But we'll see. A good story is a good story. You guys may disagree, but like, I don't think you have to have it be super gory or overt. If it's good, it's good, but it'll be hard for Disney to match the level of blood and violence that we got in the Wesley Snipes franchise. That's for sure. But they did, I always thought it was pretty clever how the Wesley Snipes franchise did that kind of fiery, like anytime the vampires got killed, they kind of like disintegrated in a fiery smoke. And it felt like they went to that aesthetic because they had to sort of like, maintain some level of censorship or rating, and I think that makes a lot of sense if Disney does something similar, because it's still kind of satisfying to see that. Do you think they're going to announce who Winstead is playing in Ahsoka? My guess has always been she's Dr. Aphra. Thoughts? It's hard to say. I mean, I think that it makes a lot of sense if we get some Star Wars casting stuff here. Haven't heard a lot about Ahsoka for a while. So that could be interesting if we get some Ahsoka stuff. I'm not super versed on the Star Wars stuff, but it feels like Dr. Aphra has been the rumor for so long that it's only a matter of time before she shows up. The director needs to build suspense and fear without blood. I mean, that's what I'm saying, Country. Like, I feel like it can be done. Obviously, blood and gore is a tool that can be used, but it's not a requisite for a good story. And it seems like you can do it. You can still build it to be suspenseful and good. You should make a video of the value of Hobgoblin, weighing more on the character or the tattoos, making ASM 238 more valuable compared to Hulk 181 with or without the coupon cutout. That would be an interesting comparison, right? Like, so here's a book that is qualified. Are they still valuable in proportion to their blue label versus green label counterparts? I would imagine if there is a difference, there's probably still people that would be down to have a Hulk 181 more, or a Hulk 181 without the Marvel value stamp more than that of the ASM 238 without the tattoos. That would be my guess. But if that's actually true, I'm not sure. Because sometimes it's all just directly proportional, right? Where it's, you know, the green labels and the purple labels are usually like half the value of whatever the grade is. That's usually how it kind of shapes out to be. But it would be interesting. What do you guys think about the Marvel value stamps? I'm trying to think more and more about it, where it's like, why is it that if the Marvel value stamp is cut out in the book, so effectively it's missing this much material, right? It's missing this much material. And then you have covers of certain comic books that have like the entire corner ripped off or whatever the case is. And it's missing the same amount of comic book material on the cover. Why can that one get a blue label? And why does the Marvel value stamp get the green label? They're both missing the same amount of book. So why does the Marvel value stamp have the scarlet letter in the same way? What do you guys think about that? Do you feel like that's the case? Or is there something more egregious about some kid cutting out a coupon way back in the day than, you know, the cover happened to get ripped? Is that the difference? That there was that it was premeditated versus sort of accidental? Maybe that's the reason why there's a difference there. Vampires are not humans, so they can get away with more. That's a good point, Whodat. I mean, you can literally dehumanize the vampires because they're not human. So yeah, violence-wise, you can get away with that. Video on ASM 194 versus ASM 238, which to buy now? Yeah, we could definitely have that conversation, the which to buy now stuff. I've done a few of those types of videos, and I think that they're very cool. I mean, I think that they're pretty dense for some people, but I usually like to do the same sort of things of like comparing census to values to tiers to year to book of other characters. I would have to look at ASM 194 right now. I think it might be inflated right now, but it also moves all in waves to the market. Like if the market continues to go down, as we're seeing with kind of like the indexes and stuff, you know, then the book will continue to go down. And so now is not the time to buy. My prediction for the market, and you know, we could all be going to zero tomorrow. Comics could totally tank tomorrow. But my feeling is that September and October will be the lowest months. And then I think November is going to be trending us back up throughout 2023. That's my prediction, but it could be wrong. You know, if we go into, you know, the whole like global economy situation, I think after November, after we get midterm elections, we don't need to go in the whole politics stuff, but after we get midterm elections, you know, then we're going to get some real, you know, Federal Reserve doing whatever they think they need to do to fix things. And that could hurt a lot of the economy. So we'll see. If anything, it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be really interesting. I'm totally butchering your question, TMNT. Cool guy. I'm taking it a different place, but it's going to be really interesting next year because we're really going to answer the question if comic books are recession proof. If we genuinely go into a recession, we will 100% answer this question. I can't imagine that comic books are recession proof. Let's see. The content of the piece missing from a book may matter. Well, the content, yeah, but both don't affect the story, right? If it's a coupon, it's a coupon. If it's a cover, it doesn't technically affect the story either. Let me see. Marvel value stamp, I can see if it affected the story than a green label. Yeah, but like, so typically the value stamp doesn't affect the story. So that's what I think is really interesting. Oh my God. Jason, I bought a complete album of Marvel value stamps someone collected back in the day. One of my true gems. Jeez. There's so much pain in that, so much lost value in that collection. I mean, I think that that's pretty cool, actually, in a weird kind of sadistic way to have a Marvel value stamp collection. Kind of funny. Value stamps were intended to be removed. Feels almost like taking book out of the poly bag. Should make a green label. Taking the book out of the poly bag, is that like a value stamp being removed? See what you're saying with that. But taking a book out of a poly bag doesn't automatically make it a green label, right? Like you can still get a blue label for a book taken out of the poly bag. It's because the stamp is part of the page. Yeah, I totally get that. But like, is the cover not the same thing? Let's see here. Because the Marvel value stamp was intentional alteration versus random damage. Yeah, Zach. I mean, that I think that that's probably the best like argument as to why, right? Where it's like, this was intentional damage or removal versus the other one, which was, like you say, an accident. So that kind of makes sense. I think the coupon cut what on purpose. Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can buy that argument. That I can understand, but it's funny. I mean, what if your Marvel stamp was just accidentally removed? Like what if instead of it being a clean cut, it was just a tear with like ripples and jags and all that stuff? Would that pass the green label test? I don't know. Let's see. Jay Hood saying, Indy 5 footage being shown right now. Okay, Indy 5. All right. I'm definitely interested in seeing Indiana Jones 5, what that looks like. All right, so we still got this one. Disney Plus. Just refreshing through, seeing if we get any kind of interesting announcements. Okay, so new season of The Mandalorian. That's something that we got. New season of The Mandalorian starts streaming in 2023. I wonder if this will be on the top of the year. All right. It'll be, this will be a really interesting test. Like, will we see Mando books move the market once again? I don't know. Will we ever see Boba Fett books move the markets once again? Will we ever get Boba Fett season 2? Book of Boba Fett season 2? I don't know. I mean, that one seems like it's going to be a tough sell for people with Boba Fett season 2. It seems like that's going to be a real tough sell. But definitely interesting to see if the Indiana Jones books move. I mean, I know that there's the limited series with the Indiana Jones that maybe people are speccing on to some degree. But what's the long-term possibility of something like that, right? Like, we're going to get Indy 5. Cool. And then are we going to get Indy 6? I can't imagine. Indiana Jones feels like it should be a Disney Plus show if they like wanted to really redo its whole thing. Because it's kind of that pulp adventure from back in the day. So you could just do an episodic Disney Plus show. Like the Young Indiana Jones show from back in the day, if you guys remember that one. I actually really enjoyed that. I don't know if it's aged well, but that seemed like a really good formula for a show like that. Just send off young Indy on adventures, adventure of the week type of thing. Okay, this time he's got to go find the ancient in this jungle, and those can be really, really fun, kind of a sliders type of show. Does a piece missing from the back cover affect value more than a piece missing from the front cover? It might affect the perceived value. I don't think it's not going to affect the grade necessarily. Like if you're missing the same size corner on the back versus the front, still going to affect the grade in the same way. But clearly there's going to be people who, if given the option, they would much rather have the front cover complete than the back cover complete. There's a lot of really good, like you see a lot of like 1.5s and 1.8 books where the front presents really nicely, but then the back has like a huge missing corner or is really messed up. And I think that those are great books to buy because they're affordable based on the grade. And really their biggest flaw is that they're missing like a back page corner. And it seems like there's a lot of opportunity for that. Comics took hits during the last recession. Big difference is that people were selling their comics to keep their house. Yeah. I mean, the thing I think is interesting is that with the recession, well, let me pull up Ben's thing here and then we'll talk about that. Last recession saw a drop in non-keys, but keys weren't really affected, but they also hadn't just had the huge jumps they had this time. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with them, with the keys and all that stuff and what moves. Like I think like it's tricky. It's tricky because like, so people say comic books are recession proof, right? And it's like, oh, look at like Action Comics #1. It's totally like always gone up year after year through recessions and stuff like that. But the reality is this is like, well, the only reason why Action Comics 1 didn't plummet in value is because during the time when things were in a recession, they decided not to sell it. You know what I mean? Like if you had to sell the book and get the liquid value out of it in the height of the recession, then for sure it would sell for less than what the highs were during, the bull market. So that's what I think you have to keep an eye on is like, if people have to sell, what will those liquid prices be? Cameron here. What up, broski? I'm stuck in traffic jam. No stream. What's news so far? No Marvel news yet, although I'm scrolling down and I see some people saying here that Kevin Feige is coming on stage. So we will see what happens here. Jay Hood, got to head out. Live stream update can be found on Bleeding Cool. All right. Well, thank you, Jay Hood. I will take a look at Bleeding Cool. We'll see kind of what they say there. Let me actually pull that up. Kind of set this up here, guys. Don't mind me. We're running the show flawlessly. Let me hop over to the Bleeding Cool. Maybe I should go to the Bleeding Cool Twitter because they seem like they're probably on top of it. Okay. What is this? All right. Well, we're going to just keep up their Twitter here. Bleeding Cool Twitter. I got all of them ready and aimed. Apparently Kevin Feige's on stage now, so maybe we're going to get some cool announcements soon. You guys let me know in the chat if they come up. We'll keep kind of talking through everything. The fact that CGC gives the dreaded green qualified label really drives the distaste for the missing stamp. Yeah, I think you're right, No Coast. I mean, once you get that scarlet letter, like that's what I always call it, right? It's like the green label or the purple label, just that negative scarlet letter view of the comic book. It just, of course, it's going to affect people's perception. And I think that that's one of the better arguments in favor of CGC removing the additional information on the labels, because maybe it's better, maybe it's better that it doesn't say on your label, tape on interior of cover, the things like that, because those things can have such a negative they can retract from your enjoyment of the book, because I have books that like I still enjoy them, and it does bother me that it has these little things on it. So there is an argument to be made for not having that stuff, or to not have these like, colors that are just, pointing out this book is not worthy of your collection. What do you think is the most undervalued key in Daredevil series? What do I think is the most undervalued key? I'd have to look at some of the books and things like that, see what's out there. Hard to say what's undervalued. I mean, I kind of feel like everything Daredevil sub number 10 is probably pretty undervalued. I think all his rogue gallery of villains are probably undervalued, like Mr. Fear and the Owl and Matador and Stiltman, things like that. I think that those books are probably all pretty undervalued because they're all cool books. But I think in his series, we could get some of those characters and things like that. Stiltman Spec's going to be strong, obviously. Matt, solid content today, Swag. Oh, thanks, Matt, for saying that. And hey, look at this. We got ourselves a super chat here from where did it go? I lost it. Super chat here from TMNT. Cool guy. Thank you so much. $20, sir. Happy Saturday. Thanks for hopping on and for all your effort always. Well, TMNT, I appreciate that. Appreciate you coming by and hanging out. Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, we'll see. I mean, hopefully we can get some cool kind of like stuff announcements soon, so that, we can kind of talk about some of the movement in the market, some of the stuff. Justice here, Feige's on stage apparently. So, we'll see. We'll see if we're going to get some cool announcements coming off of what Kevin Feige's about to say. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Let's see here. Just kind of going through the comments, guys. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Let's see here. So we got the Mando announcement. Whodat said that the trailer was fire. I'm going to catch up on all these trailers after the stream for sure, to see, we'll have to do some reactions here. Shows Indiana with a walker. Old man Indiana Jones. Old man Indiana Jones. Love Indiana Jones mythos. I really hope they do great things with it. Yeah, me too, Comic Journey. I hope so too. I think the Indiana Jones, just pure fun, pure adventures. I think that there's, I think people really enjoy that stuff, and it works perfect for Disney. Perfect for Disney. I just hope Kang and Doom are done right. Me too, virtual reality. Me too. I really hope Kang and Doom are going to be done right. I think if we get the announcement, we're not going to get the casting announcement for Doom, right? Because all the rumors right now is that Doom is going to be the end credit scene of Black Panther. Sorry, guys, if that's spoilers, but that's the rumors. So it feels like they would not want to spoil that and not announce the Doom casting. But I think Doom needs to be a standout actor. They got to really nail it with Doom, because he's going to be their big money guy. What's the money book for Mando, if any? That gold border first cover? That's a really good question, Zach. I don't know. Do you guys have a feeling on this? Like what the money Mando book is? It feels like the gold border for sure is maybe the first cover appearance. That could be the money book. They had that Star Wars series that came out recently, right? The #1 issue that's basically retelling season 1. But there were like tons of copies. Like I picked one up for myself, but when I went to my LCS, like there were stacks of it. Like it did not sell out. So I have to imagine the print run on that is extremely high. So I doubt that that's really going to ever be a book that totally blows up. But there were a bunch of variant covers. So maybe like one of the variant covers could shine through. But outside of that, yeah, I have to imagine that gold border with the cover appearance is probably going to be the one that people want. But we'll see. We'll see. It's going to take a little while for Mando. Like, because do you think that with this whole Mando thing, like obviously they're building up to Thrawn, right? Thrawn being some kind of big bad. Will they eventually get to like a trilogy of films that incorporate Thrawn? And they're going to have like a Star Wars, Avengers Assemble moment where they bring like Mando, with, well, I guess, who's alive at this time? Who exists? Is it going to be like Mando and Ahsoka have to like team up to defeat Thrawn? I don't know. That'll be the time, I think, when you really see the values pop up. Let's see. Yeah, the Mando trailer is fire. Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking that out. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Scrolling through. I'm just hoping that today ends. What up, Chris? I'm just hoping that today ends all fan castings for Fantastic Four, and I don't have to read about them anymore. Yeah, you and me both, man. I think that we need to get this Fantastic Four casting done so we don't have to hear about it anymore. And also, Chris says, undervalued Mr. Fear keys. Yeah, Mr. Fear, Stiltman. I think a lot of those DD books are definitely interesting to keep your eyes on. I would love to get the Mr. Fear one. I think Mr. Fear has an awesome character design. Super, super cool character design. Let's see here. All right, let me pull up. Tony, appreciate that. Let me pull up some of the Disney Plus stuff. You refresh through. We got Kevin Feige on stage right now. See if we're getting any information, any interesting news. Refresh Marvel Entertainment. See if there's anything there. No, nothing there yet. Refresh Bleeding Cool. Kind of take a look through. Tom Hanks, Pinocchio, revealed. Mando, season 3. Interesting. Indie developer. Okay, blah, blah, blah. So seems like Feige might be on stage right now, but I don't know if we're actually getting, or if we got any specific Marvel stuff yet. Again, this one was really interesting, this Twitter thing, where this guy came out. Apparently this scooper got it all right yesterday with the like Disney Pixar animations and all that stuff. And they basically came out and said, or their predictions were, we're going to get Deadpool 3 with a new title. We're going to get Blade full cast announcements. So that'll be interesting to see. If we're going to get a Blade full cast announcement, then we're definitely going to get what's his name? Who's Jon Snow? Who's the actor? Kit Harington. Kit Harington will be reprising his role as the Black Knight in Blade. And that'll be interesting to see if Avengers 48 rebounds, because Avengers 48 has been one of those books that has absolutely plummeted. It's gone down quite a bit, but probably is in line to where it probably should have been, because it really got ahead of itself. But it'll be interesting to see if this announcement has any effect on the book. Does it start to solidify the floor for it, or does it actually give it an uptick? We'll be curious to see if that does have an effect. Quantumania trailer will be shown. I'm so looking forward to that. Quantumania is the movie I'm most looking forward to next year. I know that might sound surprising, but I want to see what they do with Kang. I want to see what Jonathan Majors does with the character. Werewolf by Night, official announcement. I think Werewolf by Night is a shoo-in to be talked about. I'll say this, guys. I've heard some things about Werewolf by Night, and let's just say it's unclear how fans are going to feel about it. Unclear. Secret Invasion trailer will be shown. I hope so. I hope we get a Secret Invasion trailer. That one could be cool, if done right. Brie Larson will talk about the Marvels. Cool, makes sense. Armor Wars will be talked about as well. Black Panther 2, more information. Julia Dreyfus is going to be returning in the Thunderbolts. I think that is a shoo-in, because obviously Julia Dreyfus feels like she's the Nick Fury to the Thunderbolts now, especially now with, William Hurt passing away, unfortunately. Feels like she's going to really need to be the kind of the leader of the group. Marvel wants Quicksilver to return. That one I think is super interesting. Will we get an Aaron Tyler Johnson return? Or are we going to get a what's his name? Quicksilver from the Fox franchise. Ralph Boner from WandaVision. John C. Reilly and Glenn Close are in Nova. That one makes a lot of sense. I mean, why wouldn't you bring back the characters that, have been established to be connected to Xandar and connected to what was seeded in the Nova core. The other thing too with Nova, I think is really interesting is I wonder if Nova will be a prequel. That would be my prediction. Like, we didn't see Thanos get the Power Stone. We didn't see that happen where he invaded Xandar and destroyed it. So I wonder if when we see Nova, could we see returns of Thanos? Could we see returns of the Black Order, invading Xandar? I think that would be awesome to see that. If anything, feels like we're going to start the show with some, rewind the clock. Xandar gets destroyed. The helmet gets flung out into space. And if they decide to make Richard Rider human, then the helmet will land on Earth or something, and then he'll pick it up. All right, let's check in with the comments here, see what people are saying here. Iron Man 1 is a blue chip all the way. Yeah, that's in reference to our earlier conversation. People always say print run, but look, Hulk 181, there's tons of them. Well, yeah, print run is a factor only in so much as is there enough collectors that want to hold it. Like, it doesn't matter that Hulk 181 has a high print run because Wolverine is arguably the second most popular character in all of Marvel, second only to Spider-Man. So there's going to be, everybody wants that book. There's no comic book collector that wouldn't want Hulk 181. So, the print count doesn't matter in that sense. What are your thoughts on Ironheart first appearance in Invincible Iron Man 9 variant edition? I mean, I think Ironheart could be a huge character. Again, I always like to think of, okay, if I look at the Ironheart book, what year did it come out? What's the ceiling? I would say the high end for it would be, can it ever reach the values of Ultimate Fallout 4, right? A modern comic book that is like the S tier modern comic book. What are the values of Ms. Marvel's first appearance? What are the values of Spider-Gwen? Compare them all to each other, tier of character. I think it could be a good book that goes up. Seems like she's going to have a long run, but it also might be inflated right now, for sure. Matt, yeah, they're building up to Heir of the Empire. Totally. I totally agree with you. Thrawn seems to be kind of the big bad that we're all building towards. Let's see, scrolling through. All right, Chris says, Avengers 48 tanked because they did nothing with the character in Eternals. Yeah, I mean, everyone knows the Eternals movie did not sort of live up to the hype that I think was created for all of their books at that particular time. So that one definitely tanked. But this felt like, if you're someone who believes in this character, this felt like it could be a great buying opportunity. And that's one I'm so interested to see if we get a Blade cast announcement. I think it's very clear that they will say that Kit Harington will have a role in the film, and will that move the book? Definitely something to look out for. Do you think Henry Cavill will be wasted as Hyperion? I think, well, wasted is a strong word. My initial reaction to your question is yes, I do think so, because it feels like, I mean, we step back. We all know the characters, right, guys? We all know who are the popular characters, who are the pseudo popular characters, and who are the C tier characters. And let's be honest, Hyperion is a C tier character. It's no knock to him. I think Hyperion is cool, and he can be elevated by great casting. But if you have someone the caliber of Henry Cavill, why make him that type of character? We need to there's so many great characters that still need to be brought into the MCU. And would you really want Hyperion to have that celebrity talent? I don't know, but maybe there's big plans for Hyperion, or maybe I'm sleeping on Hyperion. Maybe Hyperion is the greatest Marvel character that Marvel has in their Rolodex. I don't know. I think Avengers 181 and Marvel Premiere 47 are very undervalued. Avengers 181 and Marvel Premiere 47. Well, Marvel Premiere 47, Ant-Man, totally agree. I think that book is undervalued. Avengers 181. Remind me what Avengers 181 is right now. I can't think of it. Is that the Monica Rambeau book? Something like that? Could also be undervalued. I'm not really sure. Should I get my Heir to the Empire 1 graded? Well, I think it depends on the grade that you have, right? I think I would have to look at the values. I think 9.8s are very expensive, in my opinion, or at least I think they are. And if you have a 9.8 chance, it definitely would be worth grading. If your book is like an 8.0, I'm not really sure if it's worth paying grading fees and time and effort. It might just be better to sell raw. So you kind of just have to look at that breaking point. But regardless, that's a fantastic book. Definitely a great book, in my opinion. Definitely seems like Thrawn is the light at the end of the tunnel for the Star Wars cinematic universe. He could be their Thanos. Star Wars desperately needs some villains to build towards. Let's see here. Supreme Power 1 spec. I mean, if we get the Squadron Supreme and we get characters like Nighthawk and Hyperion and things like that, anything touching or related to the Squadron Supreme will go up in value, will be spec'd on. Anything that is like first cover appearance of, Nighthawk, boom, goes up in value. First solo series for Hyperion, boom, goes up in value. Supreme Power #1, boom, goes up in value. Like, not to say that they sustain value, but just anything that touches characters that get brought in will 100% have FOMO buyers following it. All right, let's do some refreshes here. Click on through, see if anything's happening. Okay, what do we get here? Marvel Studios panel kicks off with D23 Expo. We can do this all day. The musical. So they performed the musical live. That's fun. I got to say, I think people didn't like the musical We Can Do This All Day Rogers thing. I thought that was great. I thought that it was brilliant. That's the type of self-referential humor I think is actually really clever, because the show is telling us that it's ridiculous. That Hawkeye is viewing it and it's ridiculous. And we are laughing with Hawkeye, not necessarily laughing with the musical itself. But I also did like Hawkeye. I think, controversial take, I think Hawkeye was one of the better Disney Plus shows. I think it was, oh, my dog's going crazy. I think it was one of the better Disney Plus shows. And I think it was fairly successful at what it was trying to achieve, more so than a lot of the other shows, save for Kate Bishop going toe to toe with Kingpin, which was ridiculous. I mean, that should never have happened. But all things being considered, I actually thought Hawkeye was pretty good. And I think the reason that Hawkeye got the hate that it did is that it had to follow up Eternals, the film. And what you always see with Marvel is when you get a great movie or a great show, there's a lot of equity that follows the next property, in terms of money and hype and buzz. And then if you have a thing that is not good, the thing that follows it up, it suffers quite a bit. When you get Dark World, the box office for the next thing is not very good. When you get Iron Man 3, the box office for the next thing is not very good. So it's kind of a consistent thing in that sense. And I think Hawkeye got a lot of negative responses because people did not like Eternals. But that's my opinion. We'll have to see. I have to rewatch all of these projects at some point to see how they hold up and to marathon them, because I think that's probably the best way to really evaluate how good the shows were, is to watch them all the way through. Heard rumor maybe Henry Cavill is Doom. Yeah, I've heard that rumor too. It'll be interesting to see if that's true. Yeah, maybe Henry Cavill would love to be a villain. He's, the hero in everything. He's the Witcher. He's Superman. He's, maybe he wants to be that complex supervillain. Cavill would be great Sentry, with Sentry's backstory, Hulk battle, especially his connections to FF. Yeah, that could be definitely very interesting. Could be interesting to bring the Sentry in. Maybe Sony will build up to King in Black, and we're going to have the Null event with the Sonyverse and Marvelverse, and then Null can rip Henry Cavill in half. That could be interesting. Hey Swag, I'm from Long Island. My dad and me thinking of going to California. Any shops you recommend? Hey, Frank. Very cool. Yeah, it depends on where in California you're going to be. If you're going to the Bay Area, like the kind of near San Francisco and that area, down in the South Bay, you have to kind of go towards San Jose. There's a lot of great shops down there around San Jose. Check out Heroes and Champions. A lot of great inventory at that place. If you're in Sacramento, check out A1 Comic Books. And then if you're in San Diego, Southern Cal Comics is also a good place. So you saw a trailer for Ironheart. Looked great. Okay, wait, we gotta. All right, guys, let's go back over here. Come on, refresh. Give it to me. Come on, feed. I'm getting a lot of spinny wheels here. Retry. Did we get the Ironheart trailer teaser? Maybe not yet. Disney Plus, D23. Refresh. Okay, we got some conversations here. I think I saw Marissa Tomei in the thumb. All right, so we got the cast of Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Yeah, okay, that seems expected, right? You know, of course, we're going to get little interviews like that, but not necessarily anything that's going to move the needle. I mean, could they have shown the Ironheart trailer? I mean, I guess they're filming it, right? They're filming it right now. That's how we got those images of the hood. They showed it at D23. Okay, well, we'll take a look. Hey, can you guys hear me? Test. I did a little mic pull out. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me. Just give me a yes or a thumbs up. Okay, we can hear. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. All right, let's take a look here. Swag, off the topic. What's your take on the first Arnim Zola in Captain America only goes for peanuts? Yeah, that's a good question, Mika, because that's a book that I felt like. So I had a few copies of that. I think that's Captain America 209 or 208, something around there. And it's one of those things where, if the market was where it was when we got Winter Soldier, we had Arnim Zola show up on the computer screen, that'd be a book that's like at least a $20 to $25 key, right? At least that kind of level. And then I thought that we would have seen a little more movement when we got the What If show, because we had Arnim Zola kind of play a pretty big role in that. So I think that would be interesting. I think it's just going to need that live action Arnim Zola in the like robot costume with his face on a screen. It kind of looks like Krang from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has that look, for that book to get the attention. I think right now people just nobody just thinks of it. And there's just not really like the fervor for Arnim Zola, even though I think he's a cool character. But we'll see. I thought it was interesting when they brought him back into the What If show. I thought like, oh, are they planting the seeds? Maybe. I agree that 100% that Hawkeye was one of the better Disney Plus shows and fit what they were trying to do best. I honestly haven't been a huge fan of the shows, and Hawkeye was considered through. Yeah, I totally agree. Like I thought Hawkeye was just a good way to like honor the old character and bring in the new character. And I thought they did it really well. Like Kate Bishop learned a lot from Hawkeye. It was tied in well to the Marvel universe in sort of laying the foundation of like how the Battle of New York affected Kate Bishop's view on heroism. And there are a lot of good things about it, a lot of cool things about it. And I know a lot of people didn't like Echo, the character. And I understand not necessarily liking her as a character, but thematically, I thought that she was really a clever choice, because she's obviously deaf. And then they had the kind of storyline aspect of Hawkeye losing his hearing. And there was like kind of a thematic connection to them. So I thought that, like, from a writing standpoint, as someone who's a writer, I actually appreciated a lot of what they were trying to do with the writing. And so I enjoyed it for those reasons. Now, some of the execution stuff, like I see here, the Hawkeye on the ice rink, kind of, cheeky and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe some of these set pieces were not as like the best way to do it, but I appreciated the setups and payoffs that they were trying to create with Hawkeye. Do you think Kang will be around for 10 years? Well, I think Kang will definitely be around through Secret Wars. 10 years? I don't know, because it feels like after Secret Wars, we're probably going to get, like, if this is called the multiverse saga, I think we're going to get the X saga, the X-Men saga, whatever plot points those are. That's not to say that Kang will disappear. I think Kang, once they bring in Kang, I think that they will always have him in the back pocket. It's kind of like how Thanos, Josh Brolin, I feel like we're going to see him again at some point, even though we're like kind of done with it. It's like, kind of like it's exactly how Marvel comic books works right now. You put the villains on ice and then eventually you revisit them and, you use them once again. So it'll be interesting to see. Jonathan Majors on stage. All right, let's refresh. Okay. We got Thor, we got Mando, we got that. Okay. We know that. Refreshing. Marvel Entertainment. Tell me something. What book should I FOMO buy right now? Nothing. Bleeding Cool. Tell me what's going on. Indiana Jones 5. There it is. Yeah. We were talking about that earlier, right, guys? So I'll take a look at all that stuff on my own time. Some comic book news stuff. Okay. So he's on stage right now. We'll see what happens. See if we'll get any news. He's probably, I'd have to imagine, is introducing the Ant-Man 3 trailer is what I have to imagine that he's doing. Key Collector alert page refreshing, updating quickly as well. All right, we'll see. Yeah, let's take a look at Key Collector, guys. Pull that up. See what the red bell notifications are doing. Quantum movie has ties to Phase 6, Avengers, Kang Dynasty. A teaser was shown to attendees. I mean, of course. Ironhide footage was shown exclusively to attendees. I see. Depicting Riri Williams, Riri building her armor, and Anthony Ramos as the Hood. The series will highlight the battle of tech versus magic. Wakanda Forever. Shuri said to have the biggest role teaser footage showed in Flight, the Dora Milaje project projecting vibranium, Queen Ramonda addressing world leaders, Namor versus M'Baku, and a glimpse of Atuma. Tales of the Jedi, Widow, Andor. Okay, yeah, I can pull that up too. I had this one up. Their desktop website. See if we get the, I don't know if I can click into their notification key alerts. Here we go. So this is Key Collector. They're doing their thing. Nick over there. So he has obviously the Quantumania trailer was just shown. It'll be interesting to see if we get the trailer though, because usually what happens is immediately when we see this stuff, what's the trailer? So let me pull this up, guys. Let me navigate over to the Marvel Entertainment YouTube, because whatever they decide to show, yeah, interesting. Okay, sorry, oh my God, why didn't somebody tell me my hair was all crazy right now, guys? I apologize. Yeah, so usually, when they announce these trailers, they immediately will post the thing, but we haven't got anything yet. I mean, everything here is 21 hours ago. So 21 hours ago is, 21 hours ago is everything from yesterday. So whatever they're showing right now, they've decided not to show us. So will we get the Quantumania trailer posted today? I don't know. Maybe they don't want to do it because obviously they're focused solely on Black Panther 2 info right now. So we got the Riri Williams one from Ironheart. Yeah, and everyone knows, the hood has been kind of shown. I'm not going to say that I'm the only one that's ever talked about the hood, but I've been preaching the hood for quite a while on this channel. So, me and other people got to pat myself on the back on a little bit. The series will highlight the battle of Tech, Ironheart versus Magic the Hood. Very cool. Hey, let me just throw this out to you guys, okay? In case this, info has fallen on deaf ears. One of the reasons why I always talk about the hood or like characters or do spec stuff is because you got to look at everything going on with Marvel IP and brand of like things that are going on, like even outside of the movies, like here is Fantasy Flight Games. They're a board game company and they currently have this game called Marvel Champions. It's a card game. And one of the characters that they put out, one of the, recent packs that they put out for their game, and this is also true of like one of the iPhone games that exists with Marvel, is they put out like this villain pack called Marvel Champions The Hood, right? And it's like, it's not a coincidence that they seed these things in like cartoons and games, and all of a sudden in the comic book run, you'll see like, oh, why is the hood showing up all of a sudden? They're laying the foundation and planting the seeds for these characters to be returning or showing up in these properties. So, when we talk about speculation and things like that, I always pay attention to a lot of that stuff. Just seeing like, okay, well, what's going on in the broader Marvel universe? But the hood is showing up, and definitely some interesting things about that because I've heard some additional information, and knowing what I've heard, knowing that Riri Williams is going to be going up against the hood, and that this is a series of Tech versus Magic. It's very interesting. It begs the question, where did the hood get his magical powers from? That's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to leave it at that. Wakanda Forever footage was shown. Namor versus M'Baku, Atuma, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, this is one of those situations, like I can't imagine that there's going to be much more value movement on the Black Panther books right now, because everything's been spec'd on, right? Like it's like, is the Shuri book going to go up more in value right now? Like, I don't know. I can't necessarily imagine that happening. It seems like there will be movement in the market though. It's just a matter of like, can it really go up more in value? It's hard to say. Werewolf by Night on right now. Okay, Werewolf by Night is on right now. That'll be interesting. I think Man-Thing is going to be the winner character coming off of the heels of this. If they in fact announce Man-Thing as being a part of Werewolf by Night, which that's the rumor, that to me, like when we talk about trending 20 list or CBSI report or cover price, hottest books of the week and things like that, I have to imagine we're going to see tons of Man-Thing comics on it. And there's that interesting one because Man-Thing, his first appearance is that Savage Tales magazine. And, that one's always going to be the value book, but there's a lot of bias against the magazine format for collectors. So then there's like, what are the next Man-Thing books? Man-Thing's second appearance, he's not on the cover. So there's that element, but his third appearance, he is on the cover, his first cover appearance. I think that one's interesting. I think Man-Thing #1, obviously first solo series, always going to be great. Kamikaze, FOMO in full force. Yes, indeed. Ozzy, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate that. Let's see here. KT Comics says, I think people need to understand that the D+ shows aren't movies and budget is completely different. I really enjoy the D series for what they are. Yeah, I mean, it's very clear. I think one of the issues, KT, is that Kevin Feige, like before Disney Plus started, Kevin Feige said, he's like, oh, like they're going to be like, the budgets are the same as our movies and stuff. So he kind of like set this idea that these things were going to be like event level, but it seemed very clear that just like in Marvel comic books, where Marvel was headed was that the D+ shows are basically the tie-in issues, where it's like you have whatever crossover thing is happening, King in Black, the main thing, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, Avengers, Kang Dynasty, yada yada, and all these Disney Plus shows, they're just like the tie-in issues. You know, they're the limited series runs that happen in Marvel comic books that don't get as much attention, and you have to enjoy them for what they are, or not enjoy them. But increasingly, it's going to be like, I think more people are starting to realize, like, okay, like, I don't need to watch She-Hulk, or I don't need to watch Ms. Marvel. I'm going to pick and choose what I decide to watch now. And I think that that's just the nature of the beast and where it's all going. I wish Marvel would introduce the character Random into the Marvel universe. He is such an awesome character with huge potential. It's something most people don't even know who he is. Sad. I got to admit, Pablo, I don't know who he is. Who is Random? I'm going to have to look that up after the fact. I've been hunting down John Byrne Fantastic Four. That has been one of the great runs that the movies should harvest from. Yeah, you're right. I think John Byrne Fantastic Four is everyone's favorite Fantastic Four. And that definitely seems like the best source material to go to the well for this particular thing. Although a lot of the rumors right now is that, you know, if you look at the slate when Fantastic Four is coming out, it has the November slot in 2024. So Black Panther Wakanda right now has the November movie slot. Next year, that November movie slot goes to Blade. And then the year after that, the November movie slot goes to Fantastic Four. And then the following May is Avengers Kang Dynasty. So just based on that, it feels like whatever happens in Fantastic Four has to at least in some part lay foundations into Kang Dynasty. So how much are they going to be leaning into burn run, or how much are they going to be spending time to, you know, build up the character dynamic and stuff? I think it's all going to go through Kang. You know, I think they're going to connect the whole like Nathaniel Richards, Reed Richards history and stuff like that. Werewolf by Night trailer, Man-Thing appeared in the trailer. And there it is, Lojo. There it is. All right, here it is, guys. This is the type of thing this is the type of thing that every hot list is going to have Man-Thing books on it this coming week. I could be wrong, but I feel like it takes that type of announcement where it's like, yes, Quantumania, yes, Kang the Conqueror, but like we already knew that, right? We already got that from San Diego Comic-Con. Yes, we know that we're going to get Ironheart. Yes, the Hood is going to be an Ironheart, but we already knew that, right? So is the Hood #1 going to show up? I'm not so sure. But the Man-Thing thing, even though it's been rumored, there's been many rumors, people have talked about it. That's the type of news where the market will react to that. The market will definitely react to that. Okay, here it is. Werewolf by Night. Yeah, I knew that it was going to be black and white. It's kind of a reference to kind of old horror stuff. Am I going to get in trouble for playing this? Yeah, it's kind of like the Munsters reference to like those old school things. And then I think right here at the end, I'm assuming. Did we get Man-Thing? Is that Man-Thing here? Kind of at the end here? Who's this hooded guy? We got some interesting stuff here. What do you guys think? What did you guys see in this trailer? I don't know if I'm allowed to play it. So I just, maybe if I don't have the music on, it doesn't matter. Special presentation. I don't know, guys. I'm probably already going to get flagged, or my stream's going to get killed, or whatever the case is. If I all of a sudden get the ripcord, then you know, you guys will know what happened, is that I was showing too much Disney stuff. But apparently Man-Thing is in this thing. I think that this is where we're going to get, you know, the Man-Thing FOMO for sure. Let's see what's else. They just posted Secret Invasion trailer. In Marvel Entertainment here. Did we get that? Oh, snap. You are 100% right, sir. You're 100% right. Can I do a reaction to this? Can I do a live reaction? 105 stamp? Wait, let me go back to that. 105 stamp. Anything? What was that? Oh, there. Yeah. Oh, look at that, guys. Oh, shit. Excuse me. Pausing is hard. No. There. Look at that, guys. There he is. Man Thing. Man Thing confirmed. Official. This is it. This is going to be the big one. That Werewolf by Night trailer rules. Yeah, Chris. So I had heard information about what I knew some people that have seen it, and they were talking about it, and they were just like, you know, could be hit and miss because it's a little bit of a throwback to like, you know, the Munsters and that whole thing. I mean, it's a Halloween special, you know, so could be a hit and miss thing, but this is the type of risks I think Marvel has to do to just, they're building out their catalog. They're just going to have to try to find ways to, I don't know. It's weird. Like on the one hand, the Marvel promise is that everything kind of is this cohesive story that services each other. But on the other hand, they need to build out their catalog so that people who can just enjoy a Halloween special can just enjoy a Halloween special. So this one's really interesting. All right. Should we just watch Secret Invasion, the trailer? I think we should. Guys, if I get taken down right now, you guys will know what happened. You guys will know what happened. You guys hear this? You guys hear that? Like if I widescreen it and then I react. Are you guys getting the volume here? All right. Great. Now I need to go find out and find Savage Tales 1. Savage Tales 1. So you can't hear the video. That's interesting. We did it. We did a whole trailer without showing one single joke. That's pretty awesome, dude. That looks pretty sick. I gotta say that show looks cool. I like the vibe. I like the tone a lot. We didn't get any like Easter eggs or super secret reveals in it. Samuel Jackson looks like Kimbo Slice. That is a great reference. Yeah, I think that is super cool. Super cool for sure. Secret Invasion leads into Armor Wars. Yeah, I mean, I can see right here, J Hood. We've got this Disney, the logo here with Armor Wars. That makes a lot of sense. Loki season 2 on now. That'll be interesting. I mean, are we going to get the great Henry Cavill reveal? I don't really know. But I think, again, going back to Man Thing, I think the Man Thing, this right here, I think this Man Thing reveal is going to be the big market mover in the coming weeks right here. Como Comic Books in the house. Where's my Dracula reveal? We haven't gotten to Blade yet. True. We haven't gotten to Blade yet. There's still a chance. So you're saying there's a chance. Dracula. Yeah, I think that this is, again, Man Thing's going to be the big market mover character for sure. I can't wait to watch this one as well. The Secret Invasion trailer was dope. I thought it was really cool. I really like the tone a lot. So let's see here. They got the Armor Wars poster. So just announced, so Don Cheadle will return in Marvel Studios Armor Wars. So Don Cheadle is in Secret Invasion. I have to imagine he's probably not in it too long. It's kind of like in the way that, you know, how much was Bruce Banner in She-Hulk? Like 2 episodes. So it feels like he'll probably do the thing, set the stage, and then go into Armor Wars. But it doesn't feel like we're going to get Armor Wars until 2024. Because, again, I made that video where I was talking about the calendar and the slate, and it feels like 2023 is completely full. So it's going to be tough for them to squeeze in Armor Wars. We're going to have to wait a year. So interesting to see what Loki season 2 is all about right now. Will we get the Henry Cavill reveal. So here's that Armor War. So here's the Secret Invasion trailer. I like how they did this whole, there's a nice little misdirect, with the alien outline into Nick Fury. Very cool reveal. I think that's cool. I like the espionage vibes. But we'll see. We'll see if this can land the plane. We've had very cool trailers before. Moon Knight was a very cool trailer. But kind of some interesting stuff here. Let's see if we can find. So Ben Mendelsohn, right? He's Talos. I don't know if Talos is, if this is actually Talos, or is this I can't remember what happened in Captain Marvel. The actual person who Ben Mendelsohn was playing, who belongs to S.H.I.E.L.D., did he die? Did he get killed and then Talos took over his body? Is this him? This was cool here. Nice little creepy invasion of the body snatchers vibe with this actor who, I can't remember the rumor of the character that he's playing, the Skrull he's playing. I think that Skrull's first appearance is in one of the Silver Surfer books. Can't remember the name of the Skrull that he's playing. Let's see right here. Anytime there's posters, the Marvel blows them up. Is that anything? Nah, I don't know. Blowing up the bomb. Where are we? What country are we in here? I don't know. Is that Spider-Man? Some Spider-Man colors? Interesting. Olivia Colman, amazing actress. There's Dawn right there. What else did we get? Emilia Clarke, of course. Now, it'll be interesting if it's like, is the twist going to be that Emilia Clarke is Varanki? If she's Varanki, it's one of those things where it's like every comic collector, every, emergency awesome and everything always, and all these YouTube channels that like talk about this stuff, everybody knows that Varanki is the Skrull Queen and kind of like the big twist and and Spider-Woman was the one that was revealed to be, behind it all. Like, I wonder if this show can still deliver on a twist like that when everyone knows that it's coming. You know what I mean? Or it's like, one of the things that made Civil War so good as a movie adaptation is that it followed the comic books in spirit, but it didn't, it truly had its own unique twist in so much as they made it that Winter Soldier killed Howard Stark, right? So that was really clever. So will we be able to get that sort of satisfying payoff of like who really was the Skrull or who isn't the Skrull and blah, blah, blah in a show like this? I don't know. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for them to do that, especially in a mini series over however many episodes this one actually is. All right, let's check back in the chat here. Armor Wars shoots in 2023. Yeah, so 2024 slate makes sense in that. So it makes so much sense. Let's see here. Does anyone else get sleepy when Armor Wars is mentioned? Really? I think Armor Wars is cool. Like, I think it's has the potential to be like super sick, like, because you can incorporate so many cool characters. That's what I'm excited about, right? Like, I got my bias towards B tier villains, but there's so many characters that can use the tech and a lot of like conflicting parties and things like that. Could be really cool. Secret Invasion trailer looks great. Yeah, it has the Russo brothers vibe. Yeah, it definitely had that good vibe, which is cool. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm interested. The Man-Thing thing is pretty crazy. I'm always a little bit weary when they do the like Man-Thing. Like, seemed like they went pretty hard on the VFX for Man-Thing, which means that it's going to be hard for Man-Thing to constantly show up in other properties because it's a big effects budget every time you want to use this character. So it'll be interesting to see how prevalent Man-Thing is throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Ben Mendelsohn is a fantastic actor. If anyone hasn't watched Bloodline, watch it ASAP. Yeah, he is really great. He's really, really a great actor. Don Cheadle is the most overlooked MCU actor. My man got his legs broken thanks to Drunk Tony and has just been benched ever since. Yeah, Josh, man, we need some, what is it? War Machine story, boom. You looking for this? Like we can definitely get into some roadie business. I think would be cool. Apparently there's no FF news today. Feige just said, really? You think, is that true? I can't imagine. I feel like everyone is going to riot if there's no FF news. Is he just trolling the audience? Would be sweet if they dropped Spider. Dude, that would be awesome. That would be so cool if we got Spider-Woman. She would have fit perfectly into a show like this. Especially with her like shield connection and being like a double agent and a double spy. I think the problem is there's some contractual thing where Sony owns the rights to the name Spider-Woman, but Marvel has the rights or can in fair use use Jessica Drew, right? Which is the name of the person who is Spider-Woman. So I wonder if it would be interesting if like, would Emilia Clarke's character, is her name Jessica Drew, like in the show? That'd be dope. Dialogue between Hill and Fury was about the fact that she called him back from space several times in the past and he ignored the call. Right. Yeah. I did pick up the little exchange. I can't wait to see the hood. Yeah, it'll be interesting. See what's coming. Fantastic Four comes out November 8th, 2024. Yeah. It's got that November slot. Right now, Black Panther is in the November slot. Next year, it's going to be Blade. And then the one after that would be Fantastic Four. And then the one after that is where Avengers Secret Wars has that slot. It'll be interesting with Secret Wars because Iron Man had a big role in the story in the comics. Yeah. I mean, I think RDJ is coming back, to be honest. I think they will definitely bring RDJ back for Secret Wars and Chris Evans. I have to imagine that that's part of the discussion. My wife and I do a tradition on October 1st to the 31st, have to watch one horror movie a day each one of the days. That's awesome. That's a very fun tradition. Halloween is a super fun holiday. One of my favorites. No doubt they'll twist the twist again, not only to keep it up surprising, but these writers want to do more than just transcribe. Yeah. I mean, hopefully it takes some really high level of execution to pull off spy movies and twists and satisfying things in that sense. I hope they can do it. Ken Feige just said nothing to say about Fantastic Four today. Man, I can't believe it. FF4 news. That's my should. Dude, that's crazy. I wonder what that means. I mean, let's think about this. Fantastic Four comes out in 2024. Do you think that the reason, okay, there's one of two things. Either one, they just have nothing to report because they don't have the casting done. And I know everyone's talking about Matt Shakman directing it, but it's not confirmed. Nothing's confirmed. So, they're obviously not going to announce stuff that isn't technically confirmed. There's probably a lot of legal, even if it is like, yes, we're going to have Matt Shakman do it. There's probably still a lot of contracts and all these things that have to get figured out before they can probably parade him out. Or is it one of those things where it's like, hey, guys, in 2023, there's going to be another San Diego Comic-Con. We need to have big news, and let's save the Fantastic Four cast for San Diego Comic-Con. Like, it just makes sense, right? That they would just have to save some of the stuff. Matt Shakman will direct Marvel Studios Fantastic Four. Yeah, that's the rumor. But until it's announced, it's not announced. Marvel officially confirmed. Oh, okay. So Marvel officially confirms early Fantastic Four reports. Director Matt Shakman will be helming the project. Okay, so never mind. It is official. Apologies to those who had hoped to see casting news today. It's not happening D23. Yeah. So there's your news that he's directing it. But I think it's one of those, either they haven't figured out the cast, they truly haven't figured out the cast yet, or it is that they're just going to save the cast announcement for San Diego Comic-Con next year. And so I guess this would mean, right now, a lot of the rumors, guys, is that, everyone was thinking, oh, maybe Fantastic Four will show up in Ant-Man 3. I got a feeling we're not going to see that happen. Man, I think Natasha is coming back and it was a scroll that died. I mean, that would be, Could they pull that off? Would that make sense? No, there's no way, right? Because she died sacrificing for the Soul Stone. And Hawkeye had to sacrifice that which he loves to her. And if it was a scroll, then it wouldn't be the soul that Hawkeye loves. So he wouldn't have been able to get the Soul Stone. I feel like you'd really have to retcon in order to make that happen. Yeah, Man-Thing in the Werewolf by Night trailer. Yep, Matt Shackman confirmed. Popcorn Culture, kind of disappointed. You disappointed with the announcements and stuff? I mean, I haven't fully immersed myself in watching Secret Invasion trailer and the Werewolf by Night thing, but they seem like they're pretty cool. Fantastic Four kicks off Marvel Phase 6 on November. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, that makes sense. It's that November time slot, right? Because Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Kevin Feige said this is the end of Phase 4 or the start of Phase 5. So come next year, same thing, right? Let's see here. I need me some Nova. Yeah, I think we're still, probably still going to get some more information. Probably still going to get some Nova announcements. Still, probably maybe going to get some Blade stuff. I think that getting Blade information makes a lot more sense than getting Fantastic Four information, because Blade is this coming year. FF is 2 years from now. So yeah, here's the logo. Makes sense. Do you guys think that not getting this casting information, do you feel like the FF book, say FF1, is that going to curb its growth potential? Do we need this constant excitement to get the book sold out there? No FF casting is fine with me. I'm targeting FF48 right now. Yeah, that's a good point. I need FF48 as well. It's probably a good time to buy it. Although I think it has had a little of a bit of an uptick, but we were talking about it earlier in the stream. And it seemed like that book has had its correction because the census is so high. But still a great book. And I definitely would love to get one. My honest opinion is finding the right cast must be tougher than they thought. Yeah, it could be. I think, John, probably the issue is that they just confirmed that Matt Shackman was going to direct it, right? And before that, remember, it was the director of the Spider-Man trilogy. I can't remember his name. He was in name attached to it, and he left. And now it's going to be Matt Shackman. And I think that they probably want to allow the directors some choice in the casting. They have to have some involvement. I mean, I'm sure the entity that is Marvel, it's probably by committee at that point, because Kevin Feige has to weigh in, Sarah Flynn, the casting director, has to weigh in, other executives have to probably weigh in. But I'm sure that they want the director to be a part of that process. And since they had the turnover of the director and they have Matt Shackman now coming in, he's probably in a place where it's like, hey, before we pull the trigger on anybody, let's really assess. And so that's probably one of the reasons why that there are rumors out there, because there probably is a short list of people that Marvel has been eyeballing, but now they probably want Matt Shackman to weigh in. I'm not excited for Echo at all. I kind of understand that. I mean, it's one of those, like, why are we getting the Echo series? Like, why not just get more Daredevil? I need to see some Daredevil. Like, exactly. But it feels like they're just using it as an opportunity to kind of lay the foundation for other stories down the line. Charlie Cox on stage right now. Okay. We'll take a look at that. See what he's saying. Okay. Charlie Cox. Yeah. You think he's talking about Echo? I mean, he's probably talking about Born Again, but he's sooner going to be an Echo. I expected Marvel to drop bombs. No bombs yet. Yeah. They have to save it. They have to save some info. Doesn't Blade start shooting next month? They must be showing something about it. Yeah, I think, Chris, I would imagine that the panel would end with a Blade announcement. Because that's going to be their big movie. Well, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 could end with the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 thing. The big movies next year are Ant-Man, Guardians 3, and Blade. And I think Blade is going to get I think Blade's going to end the show. I feel like the main bombs got dropped at Comic-Con. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, I think Avengers, Kang Dynasty, and Secret Wars being announced are massive bombs. No Black Knight news. We'll see. I mean, I think with Blade, we could still be getting some Black Knight news. I would imagine that the show would end with some of that info. G-Sway, I sure hope this non-FF news today doesn't negatively affect FF1 because I just picked up FF1 last week. I mean, yeah, I say it a little bit in jest. There's no way, right? Like, it's still an amazing book. Everyone knows that it's coming. So it's just when you get the casting announcements, you know that there's maybe going to be a little bit of an uptick. All right, let's just do some refreshes here on some of these Marvel pages. Probably getting towards the end. Again, I'm gonna go back to this post right here where this guy pulled it out. And you know what's interesting? This guy didn't say that there was going to be FF announcements. Look at this. This guy apparently predicted it from yesterday. So Deadpool 3, still need to hear about that. Blade, still need to hear about that. We got Quantumania. We got Werewolf by Night. We got Secret Invasion. I don't know if Brie Larson has come out already. We got Armor Wars. We got the new Black Panther 2 stuff. And then maybe some Nova news and maybe some Thunderbolts stuff or something like that. So could still be a little more to come. Oh my God. What are you guys talking about? What is this? What is this? What is this? All right. Leader is in cap. Captain America 4 is bringing back Tim Blake Nelson as the leader. Well, look at that. Chris, I'm not going to say anything because I'm live right now, but what did I say? Right? What did I say? So Captain America 4 is bringing back Tim Blake Nelson as the leader. That is very, very cool. Very cool to know that. Very cool to hear that. Very cool to hear that, guys. Super exciting news. All right, with an announcement like that, with a bombshell announcement like that, I mean, Tales to Astonish 63. Oh boy. I'll just say that. I got my copy. 7.5 grade. Definitely out there. Yeah, that was a book, Tales to Astonish 63, first appearance of the leader, first full appearance of the leader. That was definitely a book that had been spec'd on pretty heavily for a little while. Then it got came down a little bit. But that's going to be a big one. That's going to be a huge book this week. Tales to Astonish 63. Oh, actually, let's see. Tales to Astonish 63. I mean, even like $65. Let's take a look at. Is this? Oh yeah. It's pretty low grade copy, but for a while you could not find this book for under $100. It was really difficult to. Let's see what happened here, guys. Let's go to sold listings. Who immediately FOMO bought? Let's see. We got one here. So just one so far. One FOMO buy and an accepted offer. So we'll see. We'll see if this is this has to be a book that's going to move quite a bit, right? We're really early. Like the fact that we're talking about this right now on the stream, like we're really early. Like you guys are on top of this. But I have a feeling that this book is going to be the one that wins out this week. Has to be, right? 7-0. I'm watching this one. See if I have a 7.5. So if this sells for $600 this week, we'll see. We'll see if I decide to list mine. 1,308.5. There's someone immediately put up their 9.0 for $2,000. There was a 9.4. I think was one of the higher census books that was listed. I was following it, and yeah. So that's super cool. It's really interesting. I can't really get into too many details, guys. But I feel validated, Chris, with that one. I feel very validated, and that makes me feel even more validated towards some of the other things we talked about. Kind of take a look here, just seeing if there's other updates. So that one's cool. Definitely a bombshell. I'd say that that's a pretty big bombshell. Can't wait to buy Leader Under Ruse for my kids this Xmas. Yeah, going to be epic. You are right, sir. Let's see here. Man, I definitely got a lot of stuff to list tonight. Thunderbolts now. Okay, Thunderbolts announcement. This is really interesting too. I was guessing that the Thunderbolts movie might be the World War Hulk movie that we've been kind of talking about and thinking about, right? Because the World War Hulk, apparently we're setting that up, but like when I look at the calendar of like things to come, like what's possibly going to be out there, what the Marvel slate looks like, it's pretty full based on what we know. So where does the World War Hulk movie slate into? And my thought was, maybe Thunderbolts, it would make sense. Red Hulk, General Ross hates the Hulk. Who are the Thunderbolts going to have to unite to fight against? Maybe it'll be World War Hulk. Maybe that will be like, think of how much sense that makes. Like, you got Julia Dreyfus coming out there being like, oh, the Avengers, they only make destruction. Like, look at the Incredible Hulk. He's the villain. We need a government team like the Thunderbolts. And so it just makes sense that could be where the plot is. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Isaiah Bradley return. Oh, is that for New World Order? So that's cool. They're going to bring him back. Well, that'll be another book too, right? To see if Red, White, and Truth, right? Number one, what the Isaiah Bradley book is. That could be a huge one. ASM Books got so much better when Ramita took over. We get more mutants in Captain America 4. Is that something that they said? Huda? That would be interesting. I mean, because it seems like they may want to start laying some of those seeds like they did with Miss Marvel. Have gotten better at controlling FOMO. Yeah, I think you're right, Ghostin. I definitely think people have gotten better at controlling FOMO. But I do also think that the more things change, the more things stay the same, right? Like there will be 20 books that move this coming week, and you will see them on Cover Price, and you will see them on the trending 20 for Key Collector and all of these things. Let's actually go over here because Key Collector has been doing a good job with this. All right, so Thunderbolts. The team will be comprised of the Red Guardian. Guys, we should have known the Red Guardian was going to be in it, right? Ghost, John Walker, Taskmaster, and Black Widow Yelena Belova, led by Valentina. Winter Soldier Sebastian Stan will also be in the film. So there is your confirmation of the team. I think a lot of people were feeling like this was always going to be the case. Yelena makes a lot of sense. We'll have to look at Inhumans 5. Is that going to be a book that trends upward? I'm not sure. I think John Walker, we knew John Walker was going to be, someone on the team. Clearly that was the case in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Contessa clearly leading it. Ghost was always a very popular opinion of someone who's going to be on the team. Taskmaster, another person that everyone felt like was going to be on the team. Red Guardian is the interesting one. I think Red Guardian is the one that hadn't been talked about a lot, but we've talked about him on the channel. How the Red Guardian was going to come back. It is already known that David Harbour was going to be showing up in more movies. So that one makes a lot of sense. And I think that's very cool. I think he was excellent. The guy just is so charismatic. He's such a great actor in Stranger Things and all that. And Winter Soldier makes sense. He's not going to be in the team. Interesting here that they didn't confirm that Zemo was going to be on the team. But if you're looking at it from afar, it's like Black Widow is a superhero. Like think about it in the context of the world of the MCU. Black Widow is a superhero or like a good guy, sort of, kind of. She can be controlled. Captain America, John Walker, he can be controlled. Ghost, also sort of a good guy, can be controlled. Red Guardian works for the government. Taskmaster, also someone that can be controlled. But I think that there's going to be these characters that come on the team in the middle of the movie, like Zemo or Abomination, and maybe you start to get some of those characters that
ruffle some feathers, so to speak, right? Cause a little bit of chaos and dissension on the team. So I don't think this is the final roster. I think that this is just, characters we're going to see. Additionally here, so Captain America, New World Order, Tim Blake Nelson will return as leader. Carl Lumbly will reprise the role of Isaiah Bradley, and Shira Haas will portray Sabra. Sabra is so interesting to talk about. We're going to have to dig into that because, Sabra has this appearance, and this is just a character I've been kind of looking at, and it makes a lot of sense, has a lot of connections here. I think that this movie will also see Abomination. I mean, you can't do the leader without Abomination being his main lackey. Tim Blake Nelson back as the leader. Let's go back here. Disney Plus series, Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio will shoot in 2023. Okay, that's fine. Fantastic Four update. Man-Thing spotted in the Werewolf by Night trailer. Yep, Elsa Bloodstone and Jack Russell confirmed. Yeah, so that was the one that we, I think we all kind of felt it. Jack Russell was going to be Werewolf by Night, but, everyone wasn't sure if it was going to be Jake Lopez. I think that kills the Jake Lopez book. Like, the Jake Lopez book is definitely not going to be selling like it was, I think, after that announcement. All right, let's catch up with the chat here. Yeah, so Shira Haas will be Sabra. Thank you guys. I'm catching up on Key Collector. Actually is really helpful here in this situation. Is my Marvel Spotlight 270 white pages going up yet? I have to imagine it is. I gotta imagine that someone's going to be buying some Werewolf by Night books. Yeah, I feel pretty validated right now. I gotta be honest. 12 Company shows comes up in November. Clock seeing. Okay, gotta remember a lot of people watching football at the moment. Yeah. Good question. Good point. So Thunderbolts. Yep. So we got the Thunderbolts roster here. See, Bucky is going to be in Thunderbolts. That's one I didn't specifically talk about. The Captain America 6, first appearance of the Winter Soldier. That book has dropped a lot and feels undervalued right now. Definitely feels undervalued. It's a great book, especially if you can get the variant that has the Winter Soldier on the cover. I think that's for sure the money book. No Strucker on the Thunderbolts. Yeah, I mean, Strucker is a deep cut, but I think we could still see Strucker at some point. How can you not have Zemo on the Thunderbolts? See, comics in my veins. I feel like these are the characters they're announcing, but I gotta imagine that, just imagine what the plot of the movie is, right? Where it's like, okay, we start with this team, and it's this roster that you see. And then at some point in the movie, things get a little out of hand and they need extra help. And then they go to Zemo and they bring Zemo on the team. And then by the end of the movie, Zemo is now leading the team. And, it's like maybe they're saving some of these kind of announcements. Zemo would never be on a team with Super Soldiers. Yeah, that's another good point. So they're talking about the Marvels right now. They have no power character on the team. Yeah, they do need some muscle, some additional superhero. But that's where I think that we're gonna get something like Abomination or whatever. I just FOMO bought the later first appearance. Frank, oh no, FOMO buy. We got our first FOMO buy here, guys. Frank, I respect that you admit it. I respect that. Hey, Swags, thanks for opening up about your brother. That was part of a video and helping them experience is good. Mika, I'm glad you found the video helpful. Very, very important. Obviously, today is September 10th, which is World Suicide Prevention Day. So definitely a big conversation, a big topic in the in the world, and something that, if you guys are out there and you need a video to watch, check that out and find those resources. Brie Larson is on stage. D23 feels like they're holding a lot back. Yeah, I mean, they're holding a lot back, but there's definitely enough, there's definitely enough news for us to who dat. We're going to see all these books are going to be popping up on our lists, right? On these lists. And so there's enough there. There's enough there for people to go crazy on. Even with Secret Invasion, we didn't even mention that, but even Secret Invasion issue #1, a book that has already been spec'd on, then kind of fell off. But I think the trailer being as cool as it is, I think, we might see some of those pop up again. Totally agree. Winter Soldier first is undervalued. Hope this spikes it. May sell it depending on if it does. Otherwise, we'll just give him the PC. Yeah, I think, I think Gone. It's like I've been thinking about making a video about this. We're talking about like the easy money has been made, right? Where it's like this idea that like there's always going to be certain books that do double overnight, but those have to be truly. Like those have to be books that were truly under the radar. For instance, like Wonder Man was truly under the radar. Like people, of course, have talked about Wonder Man. People, of course, have spec'd on Wonder Man. But when we really step back, like no one truly thought that Wonder Man was going to be the next character introduced, right? It was a left field character. It was truly a sleeper spec. But that is an instance where that book did blow up. Return appearances like the Winter Soldier returning or Yelena Belova returning. It's like the market has already done what it's done on those books. So I don't necessarily know if they're like the overnight double in price is going to happen anymore for those types of books. But I do think that they can slowly do this over time. Once again, Ghost and Taskmaster will die. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too, guys. By the time we get to Secret Wars, I mean, Jesus, like think of how many people are going to be in that movie. Excuse me. Think of how many people. Like, how is there going to be enough screen time? You like there's some great infographics about Infinity War and Endgame that show the screen time per character, and like Thor, one of the biggest characters, still only has like, I don't know, 35 minutes of screen time, something like that, where it's like, how is Ghost going to have any room for screen time in Secret Wars? Like they probably will kill some of these characters. No, he fused net. Red Hulk or GTFO. Yeah. Red Hulk. I don't know. I'm you know what? I can say this. I know some stuff, and I know there were plans to have Red Hulk on Thunderbolts. But with William Hurt passing away, I don't know what those plans are now. So we'll see. It's all right being needing to pick him up for a while, so I decided to buy before he goes up. Yeah, I think Frank, the book was probably where it was right now. Was probably like it's probably fine to buy right now because prices have corrected and. Depending on what you pay, it's probably not crazy. And then by the time we get to it, if you really want to cash in and sell it, like you'll probably be able to, at very minimum, recoup your money. I think you'd be fine, actually. Preview footage was shown. Now moving on to Avatar. Marvel's preview footage was shown. Okay, so Marvel's got their preview footage. Let's see if there's anything interesting to look at for the Marvels. Okay, there you go. So there's the footage on stage. So I don't know. It's one of those like, what are they deciding to actually post versus not post? So like here on the YouTube, the official Marvel YouTube, they've only posted Werewolf by Night and Secret Invasion. So those are going to be like, these are the shows that they actually want the public to see versus like, it doesn't feel like we're going to get the Ant-Man trailer like we thought. Feels like that was a exclusive to D23 audience, and same with the Marvels. Seems like exclusive. Also, FOMO bought the first Red Guardian. Did you, Robert? FOMO. Hey guys, this is okay. This is a safe place. We can share our FOMO buys with each other. All right. Red Guardian's great, man. David Harbour was great, and that's a book that I feel like definitely corrected. So it'll be interesting. Rick Howard there. I am late, but what was the Thunderbolts cast announced? Yeah, so Rick, we did get the Thunderbolts cast being announced here. Here are the members of the team. Wait. Okay, well, here's the format. The team will be comprised of the Red Guardian, Ghost, John Walker, Taskmaster, and Black Widow, the Yelena Belova version of the Black Widow. Additionally, Winter Soldier and Contessa, Julia Murray-Dreyfus, will be in the film. So those are the official 5 rostered characters that have been confirmed. So we have the Red Guardian here, Avengers 43. Great book. Definitely one that has corrected quite a bit since we got the Black Widow film. So it'll be interesting to see, which of these books are going to be the books that show up on kind of our hot list and stuff like that. That's really the interesting thing to talk about. I'll probably do a video this week that's like a full recap. Captain America 6, first appearance of the Winter Soldier. So we know he's going to be in the film, not necessarily on the team though, at least not yet. Captain America 354, first appearance of John Walker. I felt like this book was fairly undervalued because of all these characters, Ghost and things like that. I think John Walker is one of the better ones. I think Wyatt Russell did a really good job with the character. So that's kind of a great book right there. This one, Avengers 196, first appearance of Taskmaster. I know a lot of people didn't like that they gender bent Taskmaster. But we're going to get a Taskmaster on screen and we're going to have, this book's going to move again because this book has overcorrected. I did a video talking about books overcorrecting. Shout out to Ryan from Automatic Comic Books. He did a video talking about books that are overcorrecting. And he actually did talk about specifically this book. And this is one that has overcorrected. It sells for less now than it did in like 2020 and 2019. And I think this is probably a great time to buy it again. And then Iron Man 219, first appearance of Ghost. Felt like we were going to get Ghost. It's interesting too. They did a gender bend with Ghost, but nobody cared. But again, it has to do with nobody cared about Ghost to begin with anyway. So that's why nobody cares. Like people have an affinity towards Taskmaster, and that's why they do care. FOMO sent in an offer for Strange Tales 159 because I just sold my copy today. 159, is that the Contessa book? Yeah. So Strange Tales 159, first appearance of Contessa. That's okay. I mean, this was a book that was crazy expensive. Remember when we got Falcon and Winter Soldier, how much this book spiked? I mean, it was crazy how much this one went up. And then it had its correction. Now it's kind of sitting in where it's sitting. Oh, and then the last book, of course, guys, Inhumans number 5, first Yelena Belova. This is one I've been curious about following its journey because it had its spike up and then, Yelena was in Black Widow and then she showed up again in Hawkeye. And then she's showing up again here. So it's kind of interesting to see like, oh, okay, well, does the book go up more the more we start to see the character, or does it correct and go back up and then doesn't have spikes? So I've been interested in following the journey for this particular book. Do more movie appearances affect values of book and raise the prices for it? Also, nothing so far about the Guardians Holiday Special or movie. Yeah, that's a good point, Jay Hood. Feels like we would hear about it today at the panel. That could be something they close the show with. Let's see here. Kamagazi says, need to upgrade my Avengers 43. Yeah, I mean, what grader is yours at? It's funny with this key collector picture because sometimes I'll pull it up and look at it. It bothers me that the picture they have has this massive color break up here. Like I want to see a higher grade key collector. What is this corner color break? This instantly drops it down to what would you say, guys? I mean, it looks pretty clean overall, but it has this one color break here in the corner. Does that make this one a 6 all of a sudden? Fine, just for that one color break? Probably, huh? Maybe it drops it down to a 7, like assuming that it's a perfect copy everywhere else. I don't know. Hard to say. But yeah, my Avengers 43 is a mid-grade. It's like probably a 5 or so. There's one in my LCS that is being sold for $70. Actually, I'm curious. Avengers 43. Like the buy it now prices for this book right now. $55. But what grade are we talking about? 55. Okay, this looks like a detached staple down here. Something like that. Some tears. I mean, it's not like a bad copy. Like if you're yeah, so one detached staple. Detached staples kind of bother me, actually. But as far as like putting it in a Mylar bag and it presenting, like it look nice, It's a cool cover. Have there been any sales for this book? Let's take a look. Market report, guys. Market report. Sold listings. Sold items. Avengers 43. Oh, look at that. Someone went for the 9.4. Someone went for the 9.4, guys. $15.49. Buy it now sale. 9.4. We'll have to see. Is that a record? Do any of you guys know? Is that like a huge purchase for that book? And then we have a couple other sales here. Someone bought a copy for 70. Someone bought a copy for 40. So there's that. All right, let's check in on Tales to Astonish 63. See if people are going ham for the leader. Okay, here we go. Yeah. All right. So it started off with this slash price, best offer accepted, $120. Don't know what the grade is. Don't feel like checking. Then we got another one here. Buy it now, 142. Another buy it now for 100. Another buy it now for 40, but this is an incomplete copy. And then here's a 4.5 sold for 275. CGC 4.5. So I remember there was a time when this book in 2021, I've had a few copies of this thing and I sold mine for like, I remember selling it for like 130 or something like that. So this feels like a book that's still kind of in line to where it was or hitting those numbers again. I'm curious if this 4.5 is going to be a record, because a lot of times with these characters that are like the lower tier villain characters, I'd say once you start to get below 6.0s, there's not that much sales data for those types of books, because people I think would rather just have them raw. Like First Appearance of High Evolutionary, the 4.0s and the 5.0s and things like that for that type of book, they're not that expensive. Same with like this and this type of character. So I wouldn't be shocked if that 275 was a record sale for that leader book. Let's see here. Seems like people forget about Ultimates 8, first cover appearance of Ultimate Taskmaster. Great Diodato cover. I'm actually unfamiliar with that one. I got to check it out. Journo is in the house. What's going on, Journo? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Black Widow 1 greater than Inhumans 5, says Zach. Is that situation where like, isn't Inhumans 5, it's like the first appearance of Yelena, and then Black Widow 1 is when she becomes Black Widow? Is it one of those types of breakdowns? Do you like ASM 50 with Kingpin popping up so much? I think ASM 50 is an all-time great book. It is one of people's favorite covers. So take away the Kingpin, like as an ASM cover, people love that book. And I think that Kingpin is going to be the main street villain throughout the Marvel cinematic universe for this next phase or so. Like it wouldn't surprise me if, I mean, we actually already know this. Kingpin has some connection to the Thunderbolts, because in Hawkeye, Kingpin was connected to Yelena. That's how they hired Yelena. And we know Yelena is connected to Contessa and the Thunderbolts. So we know that maybe Kingpin is controlling Contessa. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that's where they go with it. Additionally, now that we know that we're getting the leader and this new world order and all this stuff, because the slate is built in that Captain America New World Order comes first, then the Thunderbolts movie follows it. I wouldn't be surprised if Kingpin has connections to the leader and the Thunderbolts and Contessa, and the leader has connections to Abomination and Red Hulk and all of that stuff, because the leader is connected to General Ross, right? Like that's the foundation for the Incredible Hulk movie. So I feel like all these villains are in bed with each other. And I think Kingpin could be behind all of it. So I'm very bullish on ASM 50. Opted for Black Widow 1 over Inhumans 5. Yeah. So is that the situation? Very disappointed. No X-Men. Yeah. Vivi. I mean, honestly, I don't think we're getting X-Men until after Secret Wars. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think Marvel will continue to insinuate that mutants exist like they did with Ms. Marvel. I think that we're going to get X-Men 97, the animated show. And I think, here's my tinfoil hat. I think the animated show will like have some multiverse elements in it. And then by the time we get to Secret Wars, like we're going to pull in the animated characters, but they're just going to be in live action. So all of a sudden we're going to show up with like a Cyclops and a Wolverine and stuff. And in the Secret Wars film, we'll have Hugh Jackman return. We'll have X-Men characters in it. But as far as like an X-Men movie or like X-Men storylines, I don't think we're getting them until 2026 after Secret Wars. Are Thunderbolts also appearing in Cap 4, or am I confusing these? I don't think that that's what was announced, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's what is going to happen. I think that if you look at the slate and the calendar in the video I did, it's like Captain America 4 comes out, and then there's a window for a Disney Plus show, which in my opinion would be Armor Wars, and then the Thunderbolts movie comes out. And so I feel like, I mean, it only makes sense to have those things connected in some kind of way. I FOMO'd a Tales of the Jedi 1 9.8 for $99, but I've been wanting it anyway. Still a shame. Hey, again, guys, share your FOMO. It's okay. This is a safe place. This is a safe place. We can all FOMO together. We can all FOMO together. I'm probably going to take a trip down to the like after the stream today, which again, I don't know how, thanks for hanging out, guys. I don't know how much longer we'll go. I kind of wanted to like get through all of the Disney Marvel announcement stuff. Just so we can chat a little bit about it. Looks like they're still in the Marvels thing here. But after I wrap up the stream, I might take a trip down to the LCS to see if there's anything, any gems laying around. X-Men are going to be so big, they're going to be kept super quiet. Yeah, but I still think that the X-Men, they're going to save them. Yeah, yours is lower grade, but that is an awesome Buscema cover. Yeah, it's a great cover. I think it's a really great cover, especially if you like the Red Guardian. Passing out 3D glasses for Avatar footage now. Okay, so if they're going on to Avatar, does that mean that Marvel is done? Are they done with Marvel right now? We'll see. July 9.4. Last sale for Avengers 43 went for $13.80. So that is a record sale, ladies and gentlemen. That's a record high sale for that particular book. So pretty crazy, right? I mean, this is the type of thing I think is where we are now in the comic market. Like when I was talking about with like Wonder Man or The Leader, like I'm sure we're going to get a record high sale for The Leader. It's like, if they came out today and said, Fantastic Four is announced and Doctor Doom will be in it, I don't necessarily think that that is automatically going to make FF1 and FF5 hit their record high today, because it's already been inflated for the speculation and the hype, knowing that they were coming. The only books that I think really can truly hit their records off of FOMO are ones that were really slept on. So like Wonder Man, Avengers 9, or like this one right here, Avengers 43. I mean, everyone could have suspected that the Red Guardian would come back, but no one was thinking about it. At least no one I was hearing nobody was predicting Red Guardian to be on the team. So I think these are the types of things where you see the record high prices. How about that Leader full page from Hulk 340 on Elite right now? How about that? Oh yeah, Derek, I did see that. It's the original art, right, of the Leader. I mean, there's definitely going to be a sale. I mean, if there was ever a time to, want to pick that up, why not now? Please like and subscribe if you haven't. Yeah, Suitors, I appreciate that. Please like and subscribe. I think they might have been saving some announcements like Blade Cast and possibly Fantasy Four Cast in New York Comic Con next month. Yeah, Brandon, that's a good point. And I think it's just one of those things. I mean, Marvel is always going to have announcements and things to come out with. I mean, next year there will be a San Diego Comic Con. Next year there will be a D23. So they got to have something to pull out. I have a ASM 51 with the back page cut out. I love the ASM 51. That's the one I have. And, first Kingpin cover. I love that cover. Could Kingpin take the Norman Osborn role in Thunderbolts? Jay, that's a great suggestion. And I think that's probably where, you could see it kind of happening, right? Where it's like they don't have anyone who is the Norman Osborn equivalent, but yeah, Kingpin could perfectly slide into that story beat in this situation. Hell, maybe Kingpin will be the mayor of New York, even in the Devil's Reign storyline that's going on right now by Chip Zdarsky. Like, kind of that's sort of the plot line. So I could really see that being the case. Like he takes over that role. I really want to see some great street level products. Those are my favorite characters. Yeah, I think everyone loves the street level stuff. We need some time to get the taste of the Fox Mutant universe out of our mouths before they reboot that world. I agree that after Secret Wars. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a little while. I think it's after Secret Wars. I think that, again, I stand by that. I feel like they'll use the hype factor for X-Men in Secret Wars. Like, if they can get Hugh Jackman to come back, they'll use him. They'll put him in those movies. But storylines aren't going to happen until after the fact. I really hope we get Mr. Sinister. I really hope we get Mr. Sinister too. I think we are going to be introduced to a few different mutants over the next couple of years before we see or hear the name X-Men. Yeah, Jordan, I think we could definitely see them seeded and maybe they can have a little bit of a part. But an X-Men film, that's not coming until 2026 or 7 or whatever. I read something about with the property rights, Marvel isn't able to start working on. Yeah, because I heard that too. There is some issues with casting and some. It's not a pure thing that they could just make X-Men tomorrow. There is some issues there. Let's see here. Pro tip: stay broke like me and never get FOMO. Rick, that is great advice. That's great advice. One that we should all follow. I definitely FOMO'd on leader books, picked up TTA 62 and 63 and the Sour books. Glad to hear it. Dave, hey, it's all happens to the best of us, right? Happens to the best of us. We all FOMO. Let's take a look. Let's see if Dave, are these any of your books here? Where was that? Tales to Astonish 63. Refresh it here. Scroll down. Sold listings. Okay, that's it. Oh, my goodness. Wait a minute, fellas. Wait a minute. Wait. Oh, that was before. Somebody here had inside info. Somebody knew. On September 2nd, this 9.0 sold for $1,900. These are the types of sales where somebody knew info. There are people like me have super low-key info. And I feel like somebody was like, I'm buying that book. I'm 100% buying that book. I want to see sold. Okay, here we go. Sold listings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh yeah, guys. TTA 63 already has 8 sold listings, including a raw that went for $237. By the time it's all said and done, come Monday, is Monday when Cover Price has to put out their stuff. There's going to be 15 to 20 sales of this book. And this is definitely going to be topping the list. It's going to be huge for sure. There's a chance they will come back with Marvel. They had 2 separate Star Wars segments. Okay, I gotcha. I might go another 10 minutes here, guys. I got to probably get some lunch for myself. And we'll keep talking about stuff. I was hoping that there would be more Blade stuff to talk about, but we'll see. I got my Secret Invasion Armor Award wins. Nice. I'm stunned they didn't hype Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Yeah, I'm surprised too, Chris, but maybe they're coming back. Henry Cavill for Doctor Doom. I mean, be pretty epic. That would be pretty epic for sure. What's the jump for Iron Man 282 right now? Oh, good question. Good question here. Let's take a look at that. I do want to see Iron Man 282. You guys feel like Iron Man 282 is the clear winner book for War Machine? Doesn't look like there's actually any sales for it right now. Do you feel like that's the clear winner book for War Machine, or do you guys rather have, what is this? West Coast Avengers 93? Is that it? Oh, 94. You guys feel like this is the book that, I mean, it feels like 282 is always going to be more expensive, but I'm not really sure which one's the winner book. It doesn't look like we got any War Machine FOMO. No War Machine FOMO so far. Doesn't seem like it. What book would you recommend most from the list today? I mean, I'm weary to recommend anything coming off of these announcements and stuff, because most things will settle back down. Most things will definitely settle. Come a month from now or 2 months from now or whatever the case is. But I think all the Silver Age books are great. Silver Age books are always going to be great. So I'll leave it at that. 90 for $500. The X-Men are too big to be announced alongside these other films. They're kind of their own temple thing. I mean, you have to imagine there's going to be a massive San Diego Comic-Con panel or announcement at some point. Kamikaze agreeing. ASM 50 top 5 cover of all time. I mean, I think a lot of people would agree with you for sure. What are the top 5 covers of all time? Hard to say. No Coast, I appreciate that, man. With the super chat, grab yourself something to rest that voice after this. Yeah, okay. Can you tell? Thanks for giving me Saturday. It's been fun. Hey, No Coast, I appreciate that. Thank you for the $5. Yeah, my voice is feeling a little bit hoarse all of a sudden. Just FOMO and got Man Thing number 1. Oh, okay, yeah. We gotta check Man Thing, guys. We gotta check Man Thing. Man Thing 1. Is it 1974? Is that book? Oh my God. Oh my God. Guys, this is the book. This is the book. I mean, this one and Tales to Astonish 63, but the Man Thing 1 is affordable. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 sales for Man Thing number 1. Monster sales. Monster. Dude, 300. Oh God. I flipped over this book at the LCS like some months ago. It was like being sold for like $15. And I was like, I'm not buying that. Look at this. $1,200, 9.6 sale. First solo title for Man Thing. Huge sales. Huge sales. This is a big Man Thing. Got to pat myself on the back. I'm like, Man Thing's going to be the one that goes crazy. Adventures into Fear 19. No, 19. Wait, we got to hold on, fellas. Oh, we got to look this up. Man Thing. What is this book? I mean, Man Thing number 1 is just satisfying to own. I don't know if. Oh yeah. Okay. Astonishing Tales. Astonishing Tales 12. This is the second appearance of Man Thing. First comic book appearance of Man Thing. So we got 1 sale. I don't think the cover is good enough for this book to move at all in the market. But this one right here, first cover appearance of Man Thing. I think this one's a cool book, $36. But yeah, Man Thing number 1 is definitely, it's the book that just makes sense for people to buy. This is the most representative of a book that you would want to own for Man Thing. If you don't like Savage Tales 1, should have bought Savage Tales 1. I mean, it'll be tough for Savage Tales 1 because it's always gonna be a great book, but there is a subset of collectors that are not going to like the magazine format. Matt Stadge in the house. What's going on, Matt? Good to see you. Hulk 340 has a long historical price consolidation. Yeah, I mean, but it's always a great book. So Jay Hood, so the presentation has ended. Okay, so that's all the Marvel news for today. So no Fantastic Four casting, no announcements for Blade. That's interesting. I think the Leader and Man Thing are the two biggest. Yeah, I think you're right. I think these are the 2 books that you're going to see move the most in the market, 100% for sure. Savage Tales 1. Yeah, let's take a look at Savage Tales 1 and see if that has moved all that much. What year? 1971. No buys yet. No buys yet. Could that be right? Could that be, wait. Savage Tales 1, 1970. I mean, how much inventory is available? Well, we have 1 new listing here. We have 2, 3, 4, 5. So there is quite a lot of it. There's a lot of it out there. I mean, enough for people to buy it, but sold. Nobody has FOMO'd into this one. Isn't that interesting? See, this is the thing, guys. Like, people don't like the magazine format. It's just, there is that bias. But Man Thing number 1, this book right here, this is the one that, and it makes sense. I mean, as a comic collector, as a fan, right? You like, what is more satisfying to own? I suppose the first appearance, right? But I mean, this cover is amazing. It's Man-Thing #1. You know what I mean? Like, it's a comic book format, unlike a magazine. This is what people want to own. So this one and Tales to Astonish 63 are going to be the big boy books for sure. These are going to be the ones that everyone goes nuts for. What should I price my first Yelena newsstand at? I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. I think we just have to look at the comps. I imagine that a modern first appearance, new character, probably at least $200, right? I would look on eBay. Is the 1979 book volume 2? I'm not sure. It's Fear 10 first Man-Thing in comics. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. Fear 10 is his first solo. No. Fear 10 is his first solo series. Wait, let's do this here. We can do this. If I search by character and I go Man-Thing, you go in here. So Savage Tales #1 is the first appearance of Man-Thing, but it is obviously it's the magazine format. So there's that. Then you have Astonishing Tales 12. So this would be his second appearance. It's also the origin of Man-Thing. And it's his, oh no. So this is his second appearance, origin, and this would technically be his first comic format appearance, unlike the magazine. Then you have Astonishing Tales 13. It's the first cover appearance of Man-Thing. And I guess that would be his third appearance. Then you have Adventure into Fear 10, first headlining Man-Thing title. So you got Adventure into Fear, the Man-Thing, right? So first solo story, first headlining title. This is like one of those Marvel Premiere, Marvel Premiere 28, first Moon Knight solo kind of thing. And then you get into this, which is Adventure in Fear 11. So just another one. Yeah, great Neil Adams cover, Monsters Unleashed. You get a Marvel 2-in-1. Where's Man-Thing Come on, Key Collector. Doesn't even have it listed. But Man-Thing #1 from 1974. So these are 72, 73. You get Marvel 2-in-1 from 74, #1. And then somewhere in here in 1974, which Key Collector, for whatever reason, doesn't have listed, you get this book right here, Man-Thing #1. So this becomes I think that this just becomes the satisfying book that people want because it's just so striking. First solo titled series with an amazing cover, 20 center, great issue. So very, very interesting. Very cool to see. I've got that Kazar book. Oh, nice. Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if the Kazar stuff catches on. Feels like Man-Thing 1 is the one that is drawing the most attention. House of Secrets 92, way better cover. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Swamp Thing, pretty cool. Wow, I was already just about to send my uncle's high-grade Man-Thing 1 into CGC. He lucked out. Yeah. Dude, I mean, $1,200 sale for a 9.6. So huge, huge. I mean, Country Club Comics. Hey, appreciate that thank you for the $10. Thanks for the covers today. Yeah, you're very welcome. I appreciate you guys hanging out. It's been fun. It's been fun to talk about all this stuff. Let's see. Barrier to entry, Strange Tales 1, Savage Tales 1 is much bigger hurdle than Man-Thing 1, but I'm a cheap collector. Yeah, I think you're right. It's like the magazine, probably the floor price is a lot higher than the comic book price. But yeah, I just don't know if there are the collectors that are really feeling it that much, or the magazines. Elsa Bloodstone one, yeah, that's a good one for us to look up. Let's see, Bloodstone 1. What is it? What year? 2001? Is that right? No FOMO buys today. Last sold September 6th. I mean, this was one of those books that was already being FOMO'd into, right? Like people were already, like the Elsa Bloodstone rumors were kind of already out there versus the Man-Thing stuff was like, it was like low key rumored. It wasn't the same kind of like, this is for sure. Whereas the Elsa Bloodstone one was more like a confirmed thing. So that's where like the FOMO buys don't quite happen in the same way. Let's see here. Is Man-Thing the DC version of Swamp Thing? Yeah, he is essentially. Well, I don't know. Because Man-Thing is like psychic he doesn't talk. I think Swamp Thing talks. I mean, they're both just like swamp creatures. So, all right, let's just do a quick last little look. Marvel Entertainment. I think that all the Marvel stuff is done being announced. And if that is the case, yeah. So they finished out with kind of this Fantastic Four logo here. They did some stuff about the Marvels. Let's just look. Yeah. Okay. And I think they've kind of moved on now to, yeah, it seems like that's the big news. That's the big announcements. And yeah, Thunderbolts kind of was wrapping it up. All right. Well, I think at this point, guys, been going for 3 hours. So I got to go get some lunch, get some rest, drink some water, fix my voice. I'll probably do some videos recapping this week. There's definitely some very cool information. But definitely the big news. I think the big news, the books to keep our eyes on, this Thunderbolts team roster announcement, I think is huge. We'll definitely see what the values of these books do. I think Tim Blake Nelson as the leader is massive. Tales 263. There's also Tales 262, which is the first cameo appearance. And then there's his first cover appearance, which is Tales 264, I believe, is actually when the leader ends up on the cover. And then there's probably some other great leader books and leader covers and things like that. There's a great Hulk cover that has the leader on it. One of my favorite Hulk covers, a Herb Trimp one. I would imagine a lot of that stuff is going to move. So I'd say that's the big news. And then Man-Thing. I think between all those three things, Thunderbolts roster, leader, and Man-Thing, I think that those are going to be the things that all top our charts in these next coming weeks or so. So yeah, that'll be it. That's interesting. Those are the big news stories. Anyways, that's it for me, guys. I'm going to wrap up the stream. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Hope you guys have a great rest of the weekend, and I will see you all in the next one. Anyways, control your FOMO. Don't go crazy, guys. The books there will be another book out there. So there will be another book out there. Anyways, see you guys.